or stream them, ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Well, I spent the night trying to figure out some manly things to do for feats since Kuz is one up on me.
He is.
I thought about hog hunting at midnight.
With a gun?
I've heard that's a great rush.
You know what I want to do?
Bow and arrow or a gun? What are you using here?
Probably a gun.
What do they call it when you like fish for catfish with your hand? What do they call
Noodling.
that? Was it noodling?
Noodling.
Yes.
Is that what
Let's
it's
do
called?
that.
Yeah. You ever done that?
I have not done that, but would that be like physical feat? Would that be quite a feat?
Have you seen some of the catfish they pull out though?
I had some friends that were really into that back in Kentucky.
Pretty intense.
Oh yeah.
It's intense. It's more just kind of stupid. I mean, I don't know. It depends what you're going for. Kind of stupid.
They're not
you
biting you though. Like they can't. Like they don't have teeth. You know. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, but you still like get dragged under. Like, if it's like a big one, you get dragged under and get stuck. Because essentially what you're doing is you're sticking your finger between rocks, and they think it's a worm or something, so they attach their mouth to it.
I got you.
And then you pull it.
I don't know. I wouldn't qualify.
We have to push the mental and physical boundaries to the absolute maximum.
I've heard
Brent.
like hog hunting like in the dark is quite a rush.
Can they really attack you though?
Oh yeah, I think so. They're
Hogs can
nasty.
mess you up.
I think I've heard
What do
they're
you mean
nasty.
gonna mess you up?
Dude, look it up. They because they got the tusks on the side. They'll mess you up.
So they'll try to eat you and everything?
I don't think they'll eat you, but they can cut
Man,
you up pretty good.
You guys are making it sound like these are like the hogs from Red Dragon. You ever see that movie?
They might be, but no, I don't. Have not, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I don't know if maybe that would be it. I'm not hiking, I don't think. I looked up the 10 most impressive feats of human endurance. 73 days living underwater. Not happening.
What?
438 days living in space. I don't think I'm getting there.
We're not astronauts. But, hey, we do know Joshua Dobbs.
And we have a
Dobbs
launch
can
today.
get us in. I
Just
saw
do
that.
a quick drive. They're launching up in a few
I was going
hours.
to say we have 90 minutes to get on board.
Did you see the new astronaut outfits, by the way?
I didn't.
I mean, okay. Well, then.
Not good?
No, and it's so cliche of me, right? Because we always talk about the NFL uniform releases. These astronaut, releases, not
The
good.
astronaut release wasn't good.
If you feel like the Atlanta Falcons were bad, check these astronaut
It is hard
uniforms
to
out.
believe that we haven't sent people up in space in 9 years. Is that the story? Is that true? 9 years?
Must have lost count.
My goodness. It just doesn't feel like it's been that long, but that's a long time.
Yeah.
And it could get scrapped, by the way. It's like 50-50 chance, I guess, today. But that will happen around 4:30. Look out your window or look up in the sky around then. 264 hours with no sleep. I might be able to go for that.
You die with all the coffee that you drink.
I might be able to do that.
I like that.
86 hours running continuously. I have no chance.
No.
Nope. 22 minutes underwater at one time with no air.
Oh, those are like those free
22
divers.
minutes?
Well, then we better start working on your breathing, Brent. You better start doing that Wim Hof
I
breathing.
can't do that.
Okay.
I used to be able to do 2 laps of the pool.
Yeah.
But not 22
What was,
minutes.
Didn't David Blaine do something like that where he like froze himself or something like
Well,
that?
David did a couple things. He froze himself, but he also did the underwater thing where he did the Wim Hof breathing for like 3 days straight, and then he held his breath underwater for like 10 minutes or something like that.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
48 hours in virtual reality. Would that really screw you up? 41 minutes without blinking. I feel like that would screw me up. On this list was 11 hours playing a Wimbledon match. Okay, well, we all can't sign up for that.
Yep.
I get it, John Isner. 76 hours in continuous flight. And this one, 15 days without food or water. Now, that's a diet.
Is that possible?
Somebody did it.
I
without
thought
food or
water was
water?
like 4 days.
Yeah.
Somebody did it.
What website are you on right now, by the way?
I don't know. I just Googled it. I was trying to come up with what I could do that would be physically impressive.
I still think
And
bull
mentally.
riding. I still think bull riding, Brent.
What about zip lining in TIAA Bank? Like
No.
to the middle of the field?
I'm telling you right now, if you zip line, I'm not going to be impressed. Just to let you know.
You're not?
No.
Even after your zip lining escapades
Disaster.
over the weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to show that
broke a
video
leg.
eventually.
That
I almost
seems
broke
like
my
a
leg.
physical thing.
Yeah, but I'd rather see you do some bull riding or like running with the bulls. Do that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going to die.
Well, then I guess you don't want glory.
Yeah, but there was no fear for your life this past weekend.
Excuse me?
No, there
Are you
was
kidding me?
not.
Bro, I couldn't breathe up on that mountain, man.
There was not a fear for your life. And
You would have been
how about
surprised.
this? I didn't send you guys this. I wanted to send you this. I saw Maurice Jones-Drew on Facebook. You thought, I want your numbers right now. Climbing 14,000 feet.
What do you do?
Look what Mojo did. 51,000 steps. 22.46 miles. 653 minutes. What's that, like 10 hours? Yeah.
In a
Good
day
math,
he
Brent.
did this?
And 9,500 calories burned for the rolling ball of butcher knives.
In one day.
He says he did. He said on Twitter yesterday, on Facebook, Deep Creek Hot Springs, the last dance, retired hiker, hashtag air hikeys, hashtag sore blisters, never again. It was fun while it lasted.
There was
Deep Creek Hot Springs.
There was a kid on social media that looked up how many steps he would have to walk to technically get to the top of like Mount Everest, and he just started walking the steps, and he like tried to die. I don't think he ever made it because he stopped after like 4 or 5 hours.
It just seems that's like too much. Like I just, you know how much training you have to do for that? That's kind of even the marathon thing. Like some people can just roll off and do a marathon.
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of train for that thing. I'm not interested in going out for a 2-hour run every day.
What coach did we have on?
I've been walking 2 hours a day, and I'm not interested in running for 2 hours a day.
What coach did we have on that was talking about they would have to walk for punishment? You'd have to walk stairs with like a 45 plate.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
I was like, when he said that, I was like, oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Remember, we have to do that. We have to go out and do a show there and do that, actually.
Do you think you're in your stripes if you do that? Will that make you feel better? No.
Not really, because that would go down as like, I've done hard workouts before.
Yeah.
You know, we've all had work. If you play team sports, you've done a workout where you're like, I don't think I can make this.
Yep.
And you make it, you know? So, I mean, I think we've done that kind of stuff. I just don't think that qualifies for, like, this is a voluntary thing that you were doing. And top 3, I got to get something in my life, though. Now I feel like there's an emptiness about my life.
Cool.
I need something.
Someone's saying that my lap looks really good on the stream right now. I don't know what that means, but is the camera off?
Hold on, let me fix that.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. Giving the people
we didn't
what they
notice that.
want, huh?
Someone
Someone using our stuff again? Fantastic.
Somebody jumped in here. Hope they wiped it down.
Thanks for the shout out, Josh. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for the
Heaven
heads up. We
forbid-
didn't notice.
Yeah, heaven forbid, everyone stares at my crotch for the next 3.5 hours or 3 hours. Want to talk about
Not doing it.
To a physical and mental challenge. There you go.
Not going there. Kyler Murray, MVP. Somebody else said it. Are they crazy again? Way to get me going.
What are the odds?
Not the, I don't know what 16-1 odds. Yeah, they're out of their mind.
Yep.
4th and 15 onside kick rule. You like it or not? Instead of the onside kick, go forward on 4th and 15. The owners will vote. There's been a couple of addendums to what they initially put out there. Initial thoughts. We'll get into it a little bit more later, but what do you think? You like it?
I'm not
Face
mad
value?
at it. I'm not mad at it. I think you have a better chance to convert the 4th and 15 than you do an onside kick. And if that's the case, it makes football more exciting. So I'm not opposed to that, Brent. I'm kind of an old school guy too, but I like that rule.
All right. Major League Baseball players, did you see the salary reduction that that's being proposed? Here's the deal, right? We know this. I said this a couple weeks ago. I've said it since the start of it. MLB players are going to come off bad here if they don't play ball. That's the perception. Enough said. No, but everybody knows it. A lot of people think this will be 94 strike year kind of damage done to Major League Baseball. I think that's a little overblown. I really do. I think everybody's saying it, and I'm not sure it's to that degree. Keep in mind, MLB season, even if they come back in July, could be lost by mid-August like that because of football season. So I'd say pump the brakes a little bit on is it devastating like 94. I'm not ready to go there. Principally, I think the players actually have a great beef. Public perception-wise, they'll never win the beef. But I do think it's worth asking yourself, would you be willing to give up 5/6 of your salary, essentially? Whatever that percentage is. But that's what a guy like Mike Trout will have to do. He makes a ton of money. I get it. But he ain't going to give up that much money to play a season. I think there's a lot of different angles here from the player's point of view. I understand their beef. I really do. They're just never going to win over the fans because everybody thinks when you play professional sports, you make a lot of money. It's not necessarily the case for everybody. I mean, quantify a lot of money, but I'm talking like you're a millionaire. Well, that's not true. There are a lot of players that will make under $1 million. It's still a good amount of money, don't get me wrong. But they're even getting a cut off that as well. And you have to remember, not just anybody can go put an application into Major League Baseball and say, hey, I'd like to sign up to play for the Angels. So then Mike Trout has a certain skill set that he's getting rewarded for.
Let me ask you this, though, then, because now it's getting released how much the owners are making. Why are fans siding with the owners then and not the players? Because fans see what the owners are making, and guess what? The owners don't do anything. The owners don't go out there and play. The owners don't go out there, take those trips, sacrifice their bodies. The owners sit in their luxury box and check it out from afar. So why do you think fans are more for the owners than they are for the players?
Well, I think I don't have a great answer for you, but it's always been that way. When you're throwing salaries out there, like, I won't play this game, I won't work for $6 million. We never really say, okay, that guy's going to make $1.8 billion this year off baseball. Shame on him. I mean, look what the Oakland A's are doing. We should say it more. The Oakland A's, they're not even paying their minor leaguers. The guy's a billionaire. It's bad business to them in their minds. The numbers don't add up. That's how they got to probably be a billionaire. And I would say, much like the Trout example, there are only so many people that can own Major League Baseball clubs and NFL clubs. That's not a big group of people. There's probably more than we think, but still, how many are interested? How many want to do it? How many have the means to do it? Well, you're an exclusive club. There are a lot of people that can play baseball, in that sense. They might not play it as well as a Mike Trout or somebody else, but a lot of people that actually can play baseball. So I think they're coming from a little bit of two different ends. I have a lot of thoughts on it, and one I think that a lot of people are not thinking about. If they play 82 games, what does this season mean to the rest of their career? What does it mean in the long run of their career? I say it simply like this. Say Mike Trout hits 20 home runs this year. How important is it to a player? And I don't know the full answer on this. When they look back on their career and they say they played 15 years and they averaged 33 home runs a season. How important is that to get into the Hall of Fame or where you rank in history, what your legacy is? Well, keep in mind, whatever numbers take place this year are going to devalue that annual number because the numbers are going to be extremely down, but they're still going to get a credit for the year. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I get what you're saying here. I guess my frustration lies more with what's occurring right now in professional sports, especially with Major League Baseball. Okay? Baseball as a sport in general, the past decade or so, it's kind of gone downhill. Okay? And I think you'd agree with me, Brent, right? Like, there's not really that hype. There's not really that pomp and circumstance that you're used to accustomed to with baseball. Now, there's a diehard fans out there, but I'm talking from a casual fan perspective. Yeah, it is what it is. And right now, if you're baseball, you have a chance to make a big comeback. You have a chance, in a world that needs entertainment, in a world that needs, the television set at sports, baseball has a chance to do something special. And what are they doing? They're squabbling over millions and millions of dollars. You don't see the NHL right now putting out, well, player A makes so much, player B makes so much. No, it's behind the scenes. You don't see the NBA right now, the players squabbling, well, I want to get this much money. No, you get this much money. You don't see that. But Major League Baseball, for whatever reason, thinks, you know what? Let's go ahead and air all our dirty laundry out there for the world to see, and it's going to come back and not bite us in the ass. Well, guess what? I'm pretty sure it's gonna. And it's gonna drive everybody insane because people don't care right now about how much athletes make. Okay? They never really did in the beginning, but they definitely don't care right now. And for Major League Baseball to keep on putting the numbers out there, it's not helping anything. So do this behind closed doors, keep your mouth shut on social media, and get it figured out. Simple as that. Or else you're going to ruin the game even more, in my opinion.
But listen, baseball's at a disadvantage here on a lot of levels. One, the NFL doesn't have to worry about this kind of nonsense right now. They just came to an agreement on their CBA. There's already a salary cap in place. It's a pretty much slotted deal, and they haven't missed a game yet, right? So the NFL's got the best of all the worlds because they haven't missed a game, and it doesn't look like they will at this juncture. NHL and NBA, those guys already got paid 3/4 of their salary this year. They didn't miss that much of a paycheck. They got a lot of money. Major League Baseball is at the biggest disadvantage because nobody got paid yet. They were in spring training. That was it. So they're actually in a tough spot because of it. And do they really have that much more to gain? I agree with you. UFC, NASCAR, I think even NHL to a degree to get out there first. I think they do have a lot to gain. I think regardless of when baseball starts, how much will they actually gain from this? Because they are going to get hidden the last couple of months of their season in football season. Regardless, we're going to have plenty to watch by the time August and September roll around. It's not just going to be baseball. Now, if they had played baseball the last month and in June and July, your point, I think, would be dead on. They'll get a little bit of a jump, and everybody will be open arms to see it July 4th in the month of July. But they're going to get swallowed up quickly by the massive events going on, including college football and the NFL, most likely. But they do have a lot to lose. No doubt about that.
I just don't think you're doing yourself any kind of favors when you're airing out your dirty laundry for everybody to see. That's my opinion.
And I wonder how many. Listen, I think Adam Silver does it great. I think the NBA is on the same page. I think, but I think there's a lot less to negotiate and move around there too. You're talking less amount of players. You're talking a season that was just about over in terms of the regular season. It's a little bit easier, the parts of that, and this thing has changed so much that I think Major League Baseball's biggest fault was they put out an agreement in place at the end of March, like we'll prorate this stuff based on the amount of games before they knew exactly what was going to happen. And that's where they're getting stuck because now they have to come back and say, we want more of your money. You know, it might have been okay if they just said, hey, we're going to have to do this if it looks like this down the road. Well, they didn't have that vision of it might look like this without fans down the road.
I'm just saying, like, every professional sports league is dealing with something right now. But for whatever reason, baseball felt the need to throw every one of the issues out there. For instance, hockey's coming back. Fantastic. Do you know how many NHL players are from different kind of countries? Do you know how many NHL players are from Europe?
Yeah, a ton of them, yeah.
How are you going to get them over here during a pandemic? Are we going to talk about that? I'm sure they'll figure it out, but guess what? We're not on Twitter right now saying, well, I can't believe they're going to be irresponsible and send all these guys from Europe back over here from Sweden and from Norway. No. You don't hear anything about that because it's behind closed doors. But for whatever reason, MLB thought it was a great idea to air all the dirty laundry out there. I just don't agree with it.
Well, the union has always been a strong place in Major League Baseball, and the salaries are huge. I think we're seeing the tipping point of greed in sports. I really do. I think we're living it right now. Where does it end up? I don't know. Maybe we end up right back there. But I think we're seeing it. I'll have more on that a little bit later on. Jalen Ramsey's deal, if it's not contentious, which he indicates it won't be, is that on Jalen or the Jags for what took place last year? Curious about that. And Jamal Adams, should the Jags make a play? Jamal Adams and the Jets are at odds, and it doesn't look like this will be amicable. Maybe they do get something done. Maybe he does play there this year. But long-term vision for the Jags, is that somebody that would excite you and you'd maybe trade some of that draft capital to get a Jamal Adams, a piece you can have for the next few years going forward in the Jaguars secondary? Talk a little bit about that here on a Wednesday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Your conversation always welcome on the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can call into 904-362-9901 star 690. Steamy out there on a Wednesday. Woo-hoo. We got some more rain in the forecast and a launch. Nice uniforms are not from NASA. They're going to space.
We break them down next.
Thanks for hanging with us on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Becoming partly cloudy, very warm and humid today with scattered showers and storms developing, some heavy downpours and highs in the mid-80s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Did you have to postpone popping the question because of the COVID crisis? Get 5 years, 0 interest now at Beards Diamonds.
Hey, boss. I brought the loot back from the warehouse.
Uh-huh. And how many stops did you make with our stolen merchandise in the van?
Stops? How'd you know, boss?
'Cause now I have something called Connected Car.
Connected Car?
Yeah, I got it through the Safe Touch security system we have at the warehouse.
Wait, Connected Car is linked to the van?
Yeah. Say you're a parent with a teenager you want to keep an eye on, or a boss who wants to monitor commercial vehicles. Or maybe you got an employee that likes to stop for fries and milkshakes when he should be coming straight back.
It was onion rings.
No stops next time.
Got it. Jeez, Connected Car. Just add that to the reasons we have the Crooks of Us motto,
stay away from Safe Touch houses. It's a long list.
Here, I saved you an onion ring.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see him today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Dotson Brothers Stucco and Painting, Flexicare Childcare, Crossview Mortgage, Bates Custom Creations, Joe Power Screen Repair, Terry's Country Store. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
This message is brought to you by Community First Credit Union.
Well, it's been a difficult few weeks, to say the least. Jacksonville has seen tough times before, but nothing like this. Now, as we move towards reopening and getting back to work, let's not forget what we've experienced and what we've learned. And one thing we've learned is that there are no strangers in Jacksonville. We are one city, one community. And this pandemic has touched all of our lives, regardless of who we are. From Jack's Beach to Baldwin, from Fernandina to Fruit Cove, we've faced this thing together because that's how we do things in Jacksonville. All of us at Community First realize that staying safe is what matters now. So as we start to bring our city and our lives back to life as we know it, that means looking out for each other. So that's what we'll do. And we'll get through this to a better, brighter future in Jacksonville.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Aren't you ready to celebrate life again? From birthdays to anniversaries, nothing is as memorable as a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's announces our most exciting offer ever.
Get 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month. Or a pair of diamond studs for $3,000? You pay just $50 a month.
5 years, 0 interest financing for the entire month.
Get her that designer setting she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out over 60 months.
Shop the largest showroom in North Florida with plenty of room to social distance and take advantage of the rock bottom prices Beard's is known for.
Get 5 years 0 interest financing on anything and everything.
Only at Beard's Diamonds. Fully staffed and locally owned at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
See the difference. Save thousands.
The virus has hit home, causing many people to lose their jobs, and more are going hungry. Cox Media Group stations are partnering with Feeding Northeast Florida to help source and safely distribute food with a virtual food drive during this crucial time of need. Log on to feedingnefl.org right now and click donate to make a difference by donating what you can to Feeding Northeast Florida. No amount is too small, and if you find yourself not knowing where your next meal will come from, visit feedingnefl.org and click Get Help. Let's come together to help each other out.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We're all about saving you money, especially right now, where we all need great deals to put smiles on our faces. So check out a hot new Silverado and save up to $9,500, or a new Equinox crossover and save up to $6,500. Plus, you can delay the first payment for up to 4 months. Check out the deals at GordonChevy.com, arrange for home delivery, curbside pickup, or visit us in our freshly cleaned showroom. We are here to accommodate. Gordon Chevy and the money-saving end of Blanding in Orange Park. Chevy, find new roads.
Take a look out your window right now. Things appear basically the same, but you know they're not. Same with your business. There have been changes, some might even be permanent. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, how will you respond? Stay the course, or will you explore the new opportunities in front of you? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we know that those who explore often discover wonderful new things. If you're willing, we're able to help. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com. And let's build Jax.
Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Our normal way of life has been changing quickly due to coronavirus. New rules to follow, and basically all sports have been put on hold. Heck, you might even be working from home. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you're not in the car from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m., check in on Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Look, I can relate. I mean, I was with them, and it's no fun when you're playing by yourself in those conditions and not hitting it well. And so I thought he handled it well, and obviously kind of got back on track when he hit that awesome shot into the hole. So I thought he was a trooper the whole time, and both he and I were out of our comfort zone the entire time. I never felt comfortable really one time the entire day until it was probably over, but I was certainly glad we did it.
That's Peyton Manning on the Rich Eisen Show, talking about the match over the weekend. 6 million viewers for that. I think it was a big hit. I think we'll see more of it. Phil Mickelson said today, I think it was, that he'd like to do this on an annual basis with other players. Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, crossover sports. I don't think there's much bad to it. Like I suggested yesterday, they could shorten it. I think. I wonder if it would be better in 2 hours, or like Kuz even said, maybe refresh it. But then you got to get other players involved too, and now you're asking more. It's hard enough to get 2 guys. Forget about 4. Trust me, as someone who's tried to do like Celebrity Dream 18 events, it's hard. Now, they could probably do it. Definitely easier than I could. But I just wonder if you kind of muddy it up that way. I still think like 2 hours, or just show like a quick, from a TV perspective for the viewer, just show it in like a 2.5, 3 hour window and give some really good highlights of the front 9.
See,
that way you're not. But now, if we had done it that way, you would have missed the whole Brady and Chuck live exchange. So listen, I'm a golf guy. I'll watch it for 4 hours, and I didn't watch that entirely for 4 hours because I was playing a little bit, but I would watch it. I'm talking about the casual viewer. Like when everything does come back, if you want to mix this back into our sports entertainment in this time of year, especially when things slow down a bit, then I'm for it. I just think you might be better off doing it in like a 2 to 3 hour window than a 4 to 5 hour window.
I think you go full on like backyard style pickup game where like you get 9 people that are down or 10 people that are down, and then you have the captains who could be like Tiger Woods and Mickelson, and then it's like they almost draft their team. That could be a whole part of it, is how they pick their 5 people for each, and then it's their strategy of who plays what holes, and I really think you can mix it up.
That could be long though, man. Like even like with 4 people, it seemed really long to me. And like, so I ended up watching the first go ahead, Goose.
No, I was gonna say they don't all play every hole. So you pick like 2 people to play.
Oh, I got you.
You know, like you pick someone to play a par 5 and then a par 3.
See, the thing that kept me watching though was like the first probably 5 or 6 holes when we were watching in Colorado was like we want to see Tom Brady fail.
Yeah.
And we were enjoying ourselves.
That's maybe
right?
what made it.
We're like, Tom Brady sucks. We got this going, Tom Brady sucks, and he's supposed to be
Tom
like a
Brady's
what?
worst performance on a Sunday ever.
Yeah, exactly. And he's supposed to be like a +8 or whatever like that. Was that what it was, Brent? Like a golfer? Or like I forgot what the handicap was. 8 handicap, though, I think. Correct?
8. He said he was an 8. Yeah.
Okay. So, once again, don't know what that means to me. Sounds good, though. So I had a great time just making fun of Tom Brady because, you're supposed to be a +8 handicapper? Don't know what that means, but you suck at golf, Tom Brady. And then all of a sudden he sinks that shot. And it's like, wow. It was like one side to the other, where it's like we're making fun of Tom Brady for doing so bad and he's choking and he's supposed to be the GOAT. And then all of a sudden he sinks that, that long ball and everything. And it was like, well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I don't know. To me, I liked having just 4 people, and I like guys that I obviously recognize. I think if you saturate it too much with different players, you can't really get a rapport with them. So I like the setup right there, but it was kind of long and drawn out at the end.
Yeah, I think. I thought it was a little long. Again, now we're talking a different kind of. We can see 10 parts of Michael Jordan, and we don't get tired of it because it's the time frame we're living in right now. So you got to remember that it's a little bit different. But I agree. I kind of agree with you. We'll see. Maybe they make some tweaks to it. I think they need to bring it back, though. I think Mickelson's great at it. Tiger's Tiger. It doesn't matter if he talks or not. He's Tiger. And so if you have him involved, I think a guy like Rory would probably be pretty fun, and Mickelson and Rory or something like that, because Rory, I think, has some charisma to him, and people don't really know it. But he has some charisma to him. So I think it can work. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I do agree with it. People like watching the U.S. Open because they like watching golfers struggle because they know golf is a struggle if they've ever played it. I think people enjoyed watching Brady because it was a struggle for him and we could finally relate to Tom Brady.
Yep.
And they did look a little uncomfortable, Manning and Brady at times.
Yeah.
And I think we all would have been uncomfortable. So it was the most relatable moment maybe ever for fans to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Now, do I think that whole thing was rigged when Tom Brady sunk that long ball? Possibly.
Rigged?
No, I'm just saying you can do a lot of. If you watch the last season of Game of Thrones, you can do a lot of things with cameras, Brent. All right, a lot of things with special effects. I'm just saying, how perfect was it though? The fact that Tom Brady, Charles Barkley going back and forth, jaw jacking back and forth, and all of a sudden, from 100-something yards out, sinks it. I mean,
come on! You really conspiracy theorist, inflating footballs.
Listen, I'm not buying into flat
practices.
Earth. I'm not buying into flat Earth. I'm not buying. Did we go to the moon or not? Listen, I'm on board for all those because science can explain those. To me, science can't explain how Tom Brady was crappy all day and then just pulled one shot out of nowhere from 100-something yards out.
They went full on Space Jam and had a magnet in the ball.
Just saying, Brent,
because that's
look
golf.
into it. I'm just saying. Look into it, man.
That's golf.
Oh, Brent.
I made 7 double bogeys in a row the other day and made birdie.
They got him, Brent. Listen, and maybe I'll get silenced one day. Maybe I'll get hushed from the show for bringing this up, but look into it. Just look into the Tom Brady, 100 yards out.
Listen, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. Not on this one.
That's no way to live, Brent. Come on now. Don't be a conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theorist.
You get into them?
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
But I just don't think that was it. I think you're stretching it a little bit. All right. Speaking of numbers, onside kick. They've changed it because they don't want it to be as dangerous. It's the most dangerous play. It's also maybe the most exciting play in football. It used to be. Now they've extended the yardage in between. It becomes more difficult to ever do it, I think, than it has been done in the past. 8 of 63 attempts last year. I mean, heck, teams aren't even really trying them. 63 attempts out of all those football games. And now they want to go to 4th and 15 from your own 25 and untimed down. It started off as a time down, but now will be an untimed down is the proposal. Do you like it?
I like it, but thoughts and prayers for all those defensive linemen out there that were on the hands team like myself. I mean, there's nothing more rewarding as a professional athlete in the NFL when the coach goes, hey, you know what? You're a pretty good athlete. Let's go on hands team. I mean, it's a feeling that I can't put into words to you, but believe me when I say I shed a tear a little bit when Jack Del Rio asked me to go on hands team for the very first time.
You
man.
like nervous?
No, man, because I was an athlete, Brent. I was excited. I was confident. I was seriously nervous. Yeah, because, dude, like you said, it's like the most dangerous play in the NFL. You got linebackers coming full speed at you, and you can't, go back at them. All you got to do is try to watch the football. You can't even see them coming. Yeah, it's a very nerve-wracking play. But once again, I was considered an athlete, so I like that part of it. But how do I feel about it? I think that overall, we live in this high-scoring league. We live in this high-drama league. That 4th and 15, that adds more drama. Okay, that 4th and 15, that's going to get on SportsCenter when a team converts that. Okay, and like you said, I think only 8 onside kicks last year were converted. I don't like those percentages, okay? So I think with, those nail-biting games and everything like that, the Vegas, all the betting, I think that's the way to go with the 4th and 15.
Josh, by the way, says onside kick change as long as the conversion rate doesn't excessively exceed the onside kick success rate prior to the kicking rules changes, around 20%, then I'm on board. It's safer with potentially the same result, but we won't know until we see it in games that count. And I think that's a good point. You don't want it to become almost working all the time. It's still going to be a 1-in-5 type play, a 1-in-4 at most type play. You don't want it regularly happening. Although the risk and reward is pretty cool, because if you want to try it, sometimes you're forced to try it, but you're at your own 25-yard line, which these days you're giving up 3 points. That means, because if you don't get it, they get that ball there. I mean, even if they don't run a play, you can kick a field goal.
And you know what? And as crazy as this sounds, I think it's actually more fair. Because think about it like this. If a team gives up an onside kick, the opponent recovers and they score a touchdown. Verse 2, if a team gives up a 4th and 15 and the team scores a touchdown off that, who deserves to lose more? In my opinion, it's going to be the team that gives up the 4th and 15. Because onside kicks, crazy things can happen, man. The ball can spin a certain way. It's football. Sometimes crazy things happen. But if you're on defense and to win the game, you give up a 4th and 15, then you deserve to lose. Simple as that.
Yeah, well, you think about it. The Jags from 3rd and 18 to last year in the Super Bowl, I think it was 3rd and 19 or 17, one of the two, that cost San Francisco dearly and kind of changed the momentum of that game in the 4th. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you, and I think I like what you said. It's a total luck play with the bounce. Like, the kickers have become very good, but it's still luck. It's like, how does the ball land, and does it ricochet off somebody? Does it get 10 yards? There's a lot of luck involved in the onside kick. This puts skill back in the game at the end of the game. What I would be a little cautious of is like the pass interference stuff and penalties, because then you're putting it in the referee's hands. Anything you can do to take it out of the referee's hands late in the game. Here's what else I do like about it. And well, let me go first with what I don't. My first reaction to all these things are no. It's gimmicky. I get it away. It's gimmicky. I don't like it. I don't like gimmick stuff in the NFL. If you have to do gimmick stuff in the Arena League, I get it. If you have to do at the lower, like the spring leagues, if you have to do that, I understand. I get that. Now, I'm not a huge fan of it, but when you have your bread and butter league, you have like the Premier League in your sport, and you have to throw in some gimmicky things, I think that's dangerous. Like, that's what got everybody ticked off about the catch. What's a catch? What's not a catch? It felt gimmicky. It's like, what is this? My eyes told me it was a catch. Just call it a damn catch, right? Or it wasn't. Say incomplete. And we started to do all this scientific research. I don't think they put this much thought into launching a space shuttle here today than they did about a catch a couple years ago in the NFL. So I think if you can avoid those kind of things. So my first reaction is, this sounds kind of goofy, right? You're manufacturing something. But if I'm being completely honest, you do take away luck. You put more skill on the field. Still very high risk reward kind of play, and sometimes it's your only play because of the situation in the game. I understand. And I guess I would add to it that it's like the gimmicky nature of it. It's an actual football play. You know what I mean? So is it that far out of the norm of what you're normally doing? Like, you can have a 4th and 15, whether it's at midfield, whether it's at the 35-yard line, whether it's at your own 25-yard line. We could see that play. And lastly, I think, if I'm totally honest with myself, the one thing I really like about college football, is that I feel like I'm never out of it if I'm down by a touchdown with 40 seconds to play, or even 2 scores with like 2 minutes to play. And why is that? Well, that's because the clock stops. And so you elongate that 2 minutes like it's never going to end. And sometimes it takes way too long. Like the NBA has become like that. Like the final 30 seconds of an NBA game takes like 17 minutes. Right? I mean, I remember.
That's why you don't want to bet on the NBA games, man. Because like if you're betting on something, I mean, those last 2 minutes are just
it's
insane.
Awful. Yeah. And my mom used to say it all the time. She's like, well, I was like, Mom, there's only 2 minutes left in the game. She's like, 2 minutes left? Or is there 20 minutes left?
Yeah.
She caught on pretty quick.
Sure.
But I don't think the NFL, though, has enough of it. Where the NBA in the finale has kind of maybe a little too much stoppage of play. College football might take a little bit long, but it keeps everybody involved a little longer, so creates some drama and gives me a fighting chance. The NFL, if you have one timeout and there's 2.5 minutes left in the game, it's over. It's over. It's not enough.
Yeah.
And it's first down. I mean, maybe that's a little maybe say no timeouts in 2.5 minutes. But you just kneel on the clock and it goes, or even with a minute to go with no timeouts in the NFL, really hard to get down the field. Really hard. I mean, it's happened, but it's a tough thing to do. That clock just keeps going and going and going. I need a little bit more of the stoppage in the final minute or 2 minutes. I would advocate for that in the NFL. With 1 minute to go, stops on a first down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that because from a viewing standpoint, I think it creates more drama. I feel like there are so many times. Now, listen, the NFL comes down the final play quite a bit, the final couple of minutes. There's a lot of drama involved in the NFL. It's the way it's built. But I do feel like I'm watching a lot of games. I'm like, man, that was kind of anticlimactic. It's like I thought we were going to get a little more drama there.
Yeah.
And you don't because the clock just kind of rifles off in the last couple of minutes. So this, to me, helps that a little bit. It's just untimed down. You got another chance. It's like this last saving grace. It's like that phone a friend and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, And it creates some drama potentially. So I'm kind of, if I'm being completely honest with myself, as a viewer of that, as a fan of that, I kind of want to see that.
I just think that if you're a fan of the game of football, and this is no disrespect to kickers out there, shout out to Josh Scobie, who apologized to me over the whole incident in the cold tub. Me and Josh Scobie are once again cool, so it's good. It's good report there. But no offense to kickers out there, but let's be honest. The onside kick is a very obscure play. Okay, if you drive across a Pop Warner field, you watch these kids practice. What do you see in practice? You see them practice, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, 4th and 10, whatever. You don't see kids practicing onside kicks usually because it's it's a play where you don't know you need it until you really need it. Okay, and in the NFL, there's probably maybe I would say 5 or 6 onside kick specialists who do something different than the other guys do. You know what I'm saying?
They've gotten more creative.
They get more creative with it, but there's a few guys out there that are really Justin Tucker from the Baltimore Ravens. Is he going to bounce it off his ankle first and then go off his heel? And then the guy can do some crazy stuff. But I just think overall, as a football play, people would much rather see the 4th and 15 than the onside kick. I think it's from a more emotional standpoint, from a more at the edge of your seat standpoint. I think people will enjoy more the 4th and 15 than the onside.
I think you're right. I do. I almost, my initial reaction again is okay, it sounds kind of gimmicky. I don't think this is going to pass. I actually think this might pass. I think they might try it. This is way better than the pass interference thing they tried to put in place last year, and they never called it. Again, if you're going to put in a play, enforce it. They didn't do that in the NFL last year. And so that became a stupid thing, which no longer will be, it looks like. So I kind of like the 4th and 15. I really do, and I'm surprised I like it.
And you got to remember, too, what are the players going to say? I don't really see the players objecting to this. Maybe kickers will be a little upset, but besides that, I mean, I think every team should embrace this.
It's such an analytical league. I don't know. I'd have to ask Tony Khan or somebody within the Jags, say, give me the percentages of 4th and 15 plus. Yeah. I don't know what they are, but I bet they're pretty similar, if not even less, than an onside kick. I mean, in the NFL, 4th and 15, or even 3rd and 15, because you have more of a sample of it.
Correct.
Tell me the rate of success on that play, and I don't think it would be very much. So I think this is good. Here's the deal: if you have 4th and 15, you're the offensive coordinator. Is there a favorite play in your bag that you're calling? What's the we got to try this. There's not many 4th and 15 plays.
Yeah.
Yep. So what do you call it? Is it just go routes? Is it this post over the middle and try to hit a soft spot in the middle? I mean, what's your highest percentage 4th and 15 play as an OC?
I mean, yeah, to me, it's got to be the go route. Some kind of clear route, and maybe pray to throw it underneath and get a running back on one-on-one coverage.
Please don't do that. I hate that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying,
if I need 15 yards, do not throw it 10 yards. Did you just advocate throwing it 10 yards on a 15-yard play?
Or like a hook and ladder.
Okay, now we get a little creativity.
You like that?
I like that better. Ladder? Now that, if you're going to hook and ladder and you're going to throw it 10 or 12 yards, then that's fine. But if you're going to tell me that I'm throwing it 10 yards and you go get the other 5, I'm going to throw my remote at the TV.
If you throw it to Tyreek Hill in the slot and got a linebacker,
I don't care.
Oh, wow, Brent. Oh, wow.
I don't care.
You know what? There's a reason why you're sitting here with me right now and not coaching the Kansas City Chiefs. That's all I'm going to say.
I was going to say.
That's all I'm going to say.
4th and 15 for the Chiefs is 3rd and 1 for everybody else.
Office, man. That's just a Wednesday. Andy Reid's like, oh, what, 4th and 15? Yeah, okay. Let's do this one. Yeah.
Hey, we'll see what happens. They vote on it tomorrow, 4th and 15. Could make it a lot more exciting in the NFL toward the end of games. And, heck, I think everybody would sign up for that. A thought or two on Jalen Ramsey coming up and Jamal Adams as well. couple of star names in the secondary. Jags let one go.
You
Should they
about to
go
get
get
blocked
another?
on Twitter again? You okay?
I can talk about Jalen Ramsey in a fine way. Everybody else now gets a little bent yesterday. Did you see that? Did you see like the Rappaport?
A little bit. Yeah.
report?
Yeah.
Rappaport report.
Yeah.
And everybody was all over Jalen.
Yeah.
We are bitter in Jacksonville.
Just gotta let it go,
about
man.
Jalen Ramsey.
Let it go.
Man. Bitter.
You guys have Gardner Minshew now. You're on to the next girlfriend. It's okay. Stop stalking. Let it go. It's okay. Stay off Facebook and Twitter.
And stay on ESPN 690.
Exactly.
On Facebook and Twitter. And YouTube, too.
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details.
All right, boss. This is the house I've been casing for the last week. It doesn't have safe touch security, and the owners are out for the whole night.
Out for the night? Oh, kind of good to hear that phrase again.
Yeah, it is. Especially for us crooks. Now we get to go back to work.
Yep. All we gotta do is find houses without safe touch security, go around it. What are you doing?
I'm putting on my mask.
You're putting a surgical mask over a ski mask.
Well, the ski mask has holes in it.
All right, whatever.
Boss, I've been wondering, why doesn't everyone have safe touch security? I mean, look at this house. If they had safe touch, we wouldn't even be here.
See, what you're doing right now is called looking a gift horse in the mouth. Listen, Seabiscuit, just follow me and stick to the Crooks or Us motto, stay away from safe touch houses. That's the plan.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number LVA 4188.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Biscotti's Avondale, BB San Marco, Beaches Concrete, Ag Pro Pest Control, A&G Outdoors, Units of Jacksonville. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Hi, I'm Mike Mills from REM, and this is Action Sports Jax.
They announced that they're going to have their student athletes back on campus or allow them to come back for the voluntary workouts and for everything that they have in place July 1st. And, there was a quote in there from Lincoln Riley talking about how important it is to be cautious through all this. He's maintained that as well. But one of the things that really stuck out to me is we've tried to find answers of what exactly happens when a player or a staff member or somebody tests positive for COVID-19. And what Oklahoma said in their statement is that they will have a designated area, a dorm basically on campus where these student athletes that would maybe test positive would go, and then they would be treated there with full access to anything that they would need from OU's medical staff.
That's Laura Rutledge talking about Oklahoma University trying to get kids back on campus. The football players, July 1st, will open up on campus for voluntary workouts. I love the air quote voluntary all the time when it comes to any sport, really, these days. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. That sounds interesting, right? A little MASH unit, if you will, for in your own dorm, in one of the dorms.
Yeah.
They have the room.
Yeah, they do have the room. I don't know. I mean, just like a quarantine dorm. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. Like, I'm just...
All right, listen, you got to really fast forward. This is tough for you because Ronan's, what, 5? So my kids are a little closer to this.
Yeah.
And in general, this whole pandemic could really, I don't think it will impact softball down the road for Kaylee because of Title IX. Really could impact baseball. I was talking about it today with someone, and I have no idea how many programs there are across the country in college. Mm-hmm. But there's like 350 Division I basketball schools. So add Division II, III, NAIA, all the rest. I mean, I got to believe there's 750 baseball programs maybe in the country, right, that you could go play college baseball at. So take my kid, for example, who's going to be a freshman in high school. You go 4 years down the road, we're seeing baseball programs drop like flies. Soccer programs drop in college. Yeah. Now you go from 750 programs and a chance to go get your education and play ball and continue to play ball and kind of what you're working hard to do. And I don't say scholarship, by the way, because scholarship's totally different. There are not a lot of baseball scholarships, and if you think scholarship, you're probably misleading yourself anyway. But a chance to go play at the collegiate level, whether it's walking on or you do get a scholarship. And, well, now that 750 number is going to dwindle down to, who knows, maybe we look up and it's 500. Mm-hmm. Well, now you just lost the chance to play college baseball maybe for some. Maybe it's Ty's category. Maybe he would have fit in those other 250 somewhere. So it could really have an impact on our kids, again, if you don't play football or basketball. And I would say even if you're not a female, we have seen some female sports go, but I think Title IX will protect that to a degree. But we have seen men's soccer, we've seen men's wrestling, we have seen track and field and tennis. Just happened at Appalachian State, Furman baseball, Furman lacrosse, and lacrosse is a fast-growing sport and one that people were adding. And we're just seeing, I think, the start of it. UConn, we talked a little bit about yesterday. Yeah. They could lose 8 sports out of their 24. So you think about it, and again, I'm talking baseball because that kind of fits here at home for me. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, I would say right now in the immediate, if you had a kid that's going to play football at Oklahoma, how comfortable are you that you're going to send that kid off to the university, to on campus, and these protocols in place are satisfying enough?
Man, yeah. Probably as comfortable as my mom was when she knew I'd probably be partying during the off season of my college career. No, to tell you the truth, like how would I feel about it? It's tricky, right, Brent? Because assuming that my son does play football, let's say he goes to Oklahoma, I mean, that's a great honor, and I want to see that through. But at the same time, I have to ask myself as a parent, not of a parent of a student athlete, just a parent in general, where my job as a parent is to look out for the best interests of my son or my child. I have to ask myself, is this the healthiest thing? Is this the most productive thing for my son to be a part of? And I guess I'd have to have a long conversation with the head coach of that team. I'd have to have a long conversation, possibly, with the president of the university, and trying to get their thoughts about it. Because, and I know what you're saying. Well, that's all I have to handle. Also, well, fine, that's my son. So I'm gonna do all my due diligence to make sure that I hear the answers that I want to hear. So I would probably let him go. And if he did get sick and gets caught in the quarantine dorm, would I be upset? Probably a little bit, but I understand that, and it's part of it is what it is, I guess you would say. So overall, I'm kind of sidetracking here. I think that would be okay with it if he did go to Oklahoma. But to keep in mind, he's playing French horn. He's not going to play football. He's playing French horn. Because go ahead and name me the biggest French horn player of all time. You can't do it because no one's ever played the French horn like he's going to play the French horn. And then on the side of it, he's going to have private lessons and make Boku bucks the whole time. So we're all good, man. Scholarship French horn. Here we go.
Well, keep in mind. They are not opening campus on July 1st to voluntary French horn workouts.
Hey, it's all good, man.
So you should be good.
Private lessons on Zoom, too. Who is it?
Barry Tuckwell. When you Google best French horn player, he comes up.
French what?
French horn player.
Hey, now.
French what?
French horn player.
You said what? Yeah, he said a dump on a little bit. Hey, Kuz, I never heard of him. Ronan Lane. Remember that name, baby. French horn all day.
It's actually a good French horn name.
Ronan Lane? Not bad, right? Yeah.
Or French boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Either one. Well, he doesn't really speak French, so I think we're going to be okay from that standpoint.
Man. I think it's a fair question. Here's the deal, though. Let's be honest.
I want to hear your answer.
Let's be honest. First of all, I just played. I sent Kaylee to a tournament in this weekend. I mean, we were there, too. And I would say I did it with very... If I'm being completely honest, I understand there's some... you like to be cautious about it, and I think... Overall, I don't think we're like huge rule breakers or whatever. Like I think I had admitted I saw some high fives, and I think you're trying to avoid that right now.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a lot of hesitation doing it. Now we were there. That's a little different. College campuses, by the way, you do have to worry about things. I mean, it's a real thing like meningitis and other things like that. I mean, so your kids are a little bit at risk when you send them to a college campus anyway. Mm-hmm. I would say I'd probably do it with little hesitation. I probably would, if I'm being completely honest. But I also think it's important to bring up the kids that are going to Oklahoma are also kids that think they might have a chance at the NFL someday. And if you've met Division I players that are going to Florida, Florida State, Georgia, mom and dad aren't saying too much about what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like their skill set, they earned the scholarship, and they're kind of in charge. Mm-hmm. You know, I know what you're saying. It's like, well, I'm the parent. Yeah, but you're really not. Your kid just saved you a bunch of money, and they're going to probably do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, hey, Mom, is it okay if I go to voluntary workouts at Oklahoma? Yeah. It's more, Mom, I'm going to voluntary workouts Oklahoma. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Listen, if we're being honest, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I would say 8 or 9 out of 10 kids are like that. If you're going to play football at Oklahoma. Now, if you're going to play football at Ashland, it's like, Mom, is it okay?
Yeah.
If I go, but not at Oklahoma.
No, I hear you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. All of a sudden, that couch that you had set aside for your child doesn't really need it, and maybe all of a sudden you get a Corvette in the driveway now because you had a little extra scratch hanging out. You know, I get what you're saying.
I do say this, and I know this because I've got 15-year-olds now, and there's a mature, like mine aren't this way. Like I admit it, not yet. Mm-hmm. But there's a maturity about like 17 or 18-year-old football players going to play at Oklahoma and Florida.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, my kid's going to be like that, like in a couple years.
Yeah,
and some of us aren't. Mm-hmm. You know, I wasn't that way at 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Like already the stuff they've dealt with, handled, been on trips to, 7-on-7s, recruiting, the scouting, the phone calls, the this, the that. They grow up quick. Mm-hmm. And so my point to that is Mom and Dad, I don't think get a lot of say.
Yeah.
In that regard. Again, not across the board.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the end of the day, I mean, they're adult, right? So it's their decision.
Well, some of them are. Some of them are 17, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But most of them are adults.
But they feel like they're 22 is my point.
Exactly. Listen, to make that I mean, let's be honest. A scholarship is a lot of money, right? And to make that much money for playing a sport, that's something right there.
Yeah.
So
I told you we were watching QB1. If you look at Fromm and those guys that we were watching, the Tate Martells, you tell me that Mom and Dad are making the decisions or not. All right? I don't think so. When we come back, Jalen Ramsey, the Rams have some decisions to make. Jamal Adams, would the Jags be interested? We'll talk a little football next on ESPN 690. You grab those dishes out of the dishwasher and they're not clean. Grab a drink of water and it really doesn't taste good. The Martindales got tired of doing that and washing the dishes again. So we called CGC Water. One of the best ways to take care of your family is having clean, purified water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. I've known the good folks at CGC Water for years now. They do it the right way. The team at CGC is taking extra precautions with in-home visits, offering no-contact sales and service appointments, and CGC has extended their current promotion. Buy a Kinetico Premier Softener and save 50% on a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system. That's the one I have. Like I found out, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. It's free to try it. CGC Water will test your tap water so you can better understand what is in your water. No obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia and my family. You can be next. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health. So Cora provides care anywhere you prefer it. Learn more at coraphysicaltherapy.com.
This is a CMG Build Jax business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for all. Business across North Florida, big and small, are adjusting to meet your needs and give you great deals to build back. Like George Moore Chevrolet, 0% APR for 84 months. See dealership for other incentives. Please support local stimulus. Email buildjax@cmg.com. That's build, J-A-X, @cmg.com. We're in this together, and together we will win.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best network, same as the big carriers, but you save up to 50%. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. Needing some battery help? We've got you. Whether it's a free battery test or a free charge, we can help you get started again. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track, 12 months ending December 2019.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
This is the second time in 8 months that there have been trade implications here with this player, a very good player. And so I think a lot of people I speak to around the league believe that the relationship is just running its course. There's been too much smoke around it. The Jets clearly don't want to do a contract right now for a guy who has a 4th year left on his rookie deal, a 5th-year option, and a potential franchise tag. So you have his rights for a long time. It's not like a quarterback or a position you have to get done. And so I think, from my understanding, is the Jets are saying, hey, let's get you back in the offseason program. Let's see where things go. Let's keep in touch on it and kind of play and keep away where Jamal's taking a stand now. I want it now.
That's Jeremy Fowler from ESPN talking about Jamal Adams of the New York Jets. Talented safety, a top 5 pick a few years back. Jaguars were interested in Adams, too. I know they liked him a lot in that draft. Would the Jaguars be interested now in a guy that looks like he's having at least some problems, some conflict with his organization? Does he pull a Jalen Ramsey or a Yannick Ngakoue? Does he find himself out of there? Would the Jags be interested to pull the trigger? There's been some conversations about that in the past, especially when you think of Jan. Could they trade a guy like Jan to the Jets, get Adams in return? Is that much of a piece back there in the secondary? Is it that valuable of a piece to maybe trade some capital or even a player of even like a Yannick Ngakoue's stature? But I'm just thinking, would you look into it anyway? Forget about Jan on this part of it. Would you look into it? We're going to talk about that right now. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. Before we get to that, I had this Kuz is mentioning all sorts of stuff today, like in commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And so there's some of the new protocols that are in place in a lot of workplaces include, like, if we're not in here, we need masks and gloves to, like, if we're in the lunchroom area.
Correct.
Or even walking through the building. Now, masks will be part of it in our building. I don't know how much I'm supposed to share, but they're very similar to, like, Jags headquarters and other things. And what a lot of places are doing are temperature checks.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because they're giving you a hard time, they're like, you don't have a thermometer.
Yeah.
And I'm actually on your side, man. Like, so you were getting ribbed about not. Does everybody, like, carry a thermometer around?
When's
Does
the last time
everybody
you use a thermometer at your house, Brent? Right?
I mean, the only reason, and we both said the same thing, the only reason we have a thermometer at our house is because we have kids.
Come on.
And quite frankly, I don't even know where the hell the thing is.
For sure.
So I do the old, what Mom used to do, put your hand on the head and, oh yeah, you feel hot.
Yep,
Let's go to the doctors.
Exactly. No, without
You're
a
on
doubt.
fire, dude.
Without a doubt. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm just taken aback at our fellow coworkers. They giving you a little bit of a hard time, Kuz, about the thermometer. Like, does everybody carry a thermometer around? I would think you play the stock sometime. Go find me a maker of thermometers, and I'm buying stock in thermometers.
Not even that. Find one that's like a piece, that like a company that makes a piece of the thermometer. You know, whatever the sensory part. Yeah, just get that.
Well, dude, and like thermometers. Have you seen thermometers lately?
I haven't seen mine.
They're looking crazy. Yeah. So I take Ronan to school. You know, it's like the daycare thing that he goes to, and every day he has to get his temperature checked. Dude, it's like a price gun, like at a supermarket, and they just swipe them one time, and then boom, there you go.
That's the one I got.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, it doesn't go in your mouth anymore. It doesn't go underneath your armpit. Little swipe. Zoom.
I did. That's the one I got. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to get the one that's like, you know, goes in your mouth and you sit there for a while, though they had a few different options of places you could put it.
Well, now, I'm going to be honest.
Say, when you're a kid, it used to, like, Mom's old school, like, had to put it in your butt cheeks.
Of course, for sure.
No, like, seriously, was that, like, the only thing? It took them 35 years to figure out you didn't need it in your butt cheeks?
You got to put it in your butt cheeks.
That was an option. They said armpit, too. I feel like that was an option.
But the armpit was trash, though. Like, the armpit was, I mean, where I came from, the armpit was trash.
Okay.
Like, it was like 10 degrees off. I mean, dude, you get like 135-degree fever and be fine. Like, it is what it is, an armpit.
Like, I also probably need to check my temperature, like, a good 2 hours before the show to make sure, because if I check, like, 20 minutes before we go live and I'm like a 1-0 whatever.
It's hot in here.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, what do you do? I'll be pushing some crazy buttons in there, I can tell you that.
You just FaceTime me in. All right, now press that.
Yeah, dude, this face scanner temperature thing is insane. It scans your whole head.
That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, but once again,
I thought it like sits on the forehead.
To get on the conspiracy theory thing once again, you know, like, is my son getting his picture taken every single time and is in some kind of government database?
Oh my
gosh!
Well, that's like
now you're a little
crazy. These are the questions you have to be asking.
From Tom Brady,
these are the questions you have to be asking.
They're related. They're directly related.
Could be. Hey, look into it, Brent. Just all I'm saying is look into it.
Yeah, I'll take my chances. But I'll tell you this: like, people are going to stay inside their houses sooner. Like, you got to. What happens if you forget your thermometer?
First of all, I mean, I don't always have Kuz's back, but I have Kuz's back on this one. Give me the names of the office staff that made fun of you for not having a thermometer in your house. Show me the Swiss Family Robinsons that we have in our office that are like, oh, I'll take your temperature, son, every single. Like, come on. What are we talking about?
They
here?
have to have kids. Like, if they don't have kids, you don't have a thermometer in your house.
I'm not sure why I said Swiss Family
Robinson. They definitely have kids.
Like,
I know they have young kids. So, I mean, I got one, and it's one of those things that I'm like, well, now I'm worried about the battery running out. If I have to use this every day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm late to work. I had to go to Walgreens.
Well, when you had grown up, Brett, did you have like the old school Mercury one, right? Where it took forever. You had to shake it and everything. Yeah. I had no. That was a black magic right there, dude. Because like my grandma had to shake it first, and I don't know what that was doing, or she had to like put it into like a faucet, and it took like 25 minutes to actually read something. That's some black magic.
I tell you what, though, I would stay home for good if you had to do the actual COVID test like every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That thing looks uncomfortable.
I know, man.
I think I would.
Like, I get it. And it's fine once in a while.
Yeah.
But every day, if you had to do that.
Did Marcel get it done?
He did.
Said it was rough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
The only way I would go through it, if they like if somehow I got connected with the NBA potential bubble and they're like, you have to take a test every single day, sign me up. I'm doing it.
You would do it.
I would do it.
You'd want to do it. I'd like hesitate to want to go to stuff because of it.
If you take 10 COVID tests in a row, 10 days straight, you're going to earn your stripes of something that you pushed your body and mentality to the physical limits.
That would do it?
you would earn my respect.
Okay.
They're literally going to touch your brain.
Or a tattoo on your neck. Pick one. I don't care.
Either one.
ESPN 690 on your neck.
I just feel like if I did that, if that's my physical feat, when you say this in 10 years, and you'd be like, hey, remember the time I climbed whatever hill, 14,000 feet, and burned 5,000 calories, and it was snowing at the top, and I got retweeted by McCarty.
Oh, man, he did too cool. I was so pumped up.
And then I say, I took COVID-19 tests, and they threw this swab down up my nose 10 times in a row.
Seeing blood.
Oh, you're my hero.
Nose started bleeding.
You're
right. Yeah.
Like, that's not going to carry the weight.
I take it back.
Let's just set a Guinness World Book of Records for longest COVID test. Like, how longest time you kept it up there. I'm sure it's not that long.
Listen, I had sinus surgery. And when you have sinus surgery, like, you realize how much room there is up there.
Really?
Like, because they kind of do shove that stuff up, like something like that, actually even more, I think. And it's like, whoa, how do you do that? Like, is that in the back of my head right now?
So do you do you get gauze in your nose and they take them out eventually? Like, do you have to keep it in for a couple days?
Yeah.
Is it is it like one of the best feelings when you take the gauze out and you can breathe?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's a life changer, man. I would sign up for sinus surgery if it started to come back right now, which it can.
Yeah,
I would do sinus surgery again right now.
Painful though?
I had a pretty good experience. People have different experiences, but it was a game changer, man. Like,
I'm nervous about mine, man.
I get allergies now, a little bit, and so that sucks when you get the allergies. But allergies on top, like I was getting sinus stuff like every week, and it was just miserable.
I wonder if it's similar.
So I would do it tomorrow again.
I mean, when I'm done fighting, I'm definitely going to do it. You can use the NFL insurance and get it done.
Yeah,
but
you should.
I'm just afraid.
It's a game changer.
But with this snot, man, this is like the labyrinth right here, man. This is like, who knows what's going to happen with this thing?
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
My adenoids taken out when I was like in 8th grade. Yep. And I wasn't able to breathe out of my nose ever. And once those went away, it was like a whole new world. Like smelling pizza. I remember like the first time I actually smelled pizza, I was like,
walking on sunshine.
That's some game changer stuff. Hey, Jamal Adams, could he be a game changer for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah.
Seriously thinking, okay, the Jaguars are a team. They've reset their roster. They have such a young football team. They have very moderate talent, it looks like, in the back end in terms of the safety position. I still feel like there's some hope for Ronnie Harrison to be good, but I don't like what I've been hearing. Not from Harris. I'm just saying I thought people would be more excited about him. And I don't think they are. I think they're like, okay, he's good, but he's not as good as I thought he might be trending toward, at least. So I got to see him again this year, and maybe he does take that step. Jared Wilson, I think, is Jared Wilson. And there's something to be said for being a guy like Jared Wilson, plays every snap. I think he does okay, but he's never going to be an elite player. So if you take their position, they don't love their safety spot. I know that. But they're also like, okay, we can play with it. That's why they didn't make too many moves there this year. Jamal Adams would really give you a bona fide like Pro Bowl or star on that level of your defense. You like your front seven. You have some talent there, whether it's even one guy. I'll pick Josh Allen and then Miles Jack. Well, now in the back end, C.J. Henderson could be that, but you don't know. Jamal Adams is that. Mm-hmm. Like he could carry you into this next phase of your roster and still a guy that has a lot of good football ahead of him. Why do I like that? I like the idea of a Jamal Adams in a Jags uniform if I could make a move that made sense.
When you talk about Jamal Adams, you talk about a couple things here, Brent. Okay, obviously the guy is an all-pro. So from the football skill set, yeah, he's definitely a guy you want to. I think any team in the NFL would take a Jamal Adams. I mean, the guy is that good. But here's why I want Jamal Adams on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do you know what's great about playing on the side of the ball in terms of defense, Brent? It's that you can be relentless. You can just put your hair back and just fly, right? It's not really analytical. You don't have to worry about the snap count. All you do is read and react. And when all you do is read and react, that comes with an attitude, and that comes with a swagger, and that comes with the toughness. If I was to tell you right now, Brent, you know, on the Jacksonville Jaguars' defensive, let's just say their defense in general. What defender is the guy that kind of gets everybody hyped up? What defender is the guy that makes the big hit, gets over the guy's face, and kind of flexes in front of him a little bit? You know, kind of adds that swagger, adds that just, you know, the right there kind of Fred kind of guy. What guy is that going to be right now in the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, Miles could have a sense of that, maybe.
Maybe.
You know, does Chason bring a little bit of that? Jan is that.
Jan is that. Like C.J. Henderson, obviously, I think he's more of a mild-mannered guy. It's not going to be that. But my point is,
let's be honest, man.
You have
very little swag.
Yeah.
In the back end right now, and you had a ton of it
with Jalen Ramsey. So
not only, but Tayshaun Gibson.
Exactly.
And even AJ had his own on the field, he was quiet off, but on the field, he would bring it a little bit.
Yeah. So, see, that's the thing, Brent, right? Where defensive linemen, listen, you know this, Brent, defensive linemen are crazy, right? And you're always going to get kind of the killer mentality on defensive line because you kind of have to have a little bit of that craziness to play in the trenches, without a doubt. But what puts a defense over the top is the secondary. It's that one guy like a Richard Sherman, like an Earl Thomas, who you know is going to bring it, who you know is just, he has that dog in him, as we always talk about here on the show. And if you have that guy in the secondary, well, man, then you guys are set. And right now, I think, especially in the secondary of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brent, you look at it, you don't see that, okay? Probably not even close right now. So to bring in a Jamal Adams, yes, you're bringing in an all-pro caliber player, but you're also bringing in a guy who adds the attitude, who adds that swag, who can change the culture around. I compare it to Khalil Mack in Chicago. When the Chicago Bears brought in Khalil Mack, what's this? All of a sudden, 85 Bears are back? Because Khalil Mack was that good. He brought that mentality. He brought that physicality. And I think Jamal Adams can do the same thing in the secondary.
Yeah, I do like it. I like what you're saying. I think a little swagger. I think a little veteran experience. I think a proven commodity. And you got some dollars. You can make some money. You make some waves there. It would have to be, you got to show me the deal for me to feel good about it. To be honest with you, I still want Jan here. I think it makes you so unique to have three guys now that can really rush the passer. I understand the reality that is probably not good, but I want Jan here, so I'm going to hold out until that becomes, again, impossible.
Let me ask you this. Who would you rather have right now on the team, Yannick Ngakoue or Adams?
It's a great call. Who makes you better? I want whoever makes me better.
Sure.
Ooh.
I mean, there's arguments for both, let's be honest.
Don't let me off the fence.
I'm trying to help you out. Someone take his temperature.
I just don't know if Adams and the safety position is that impactful. And I obviously know how impactful Jan has been. And again, it makes you so, you can sit here and tell me that you hate the Jags roster. But I can tell you right now that the Jags have something that nobody else has. They got three guys they think that can get after the passer. Nobody has that. Now, it might be too many. You can make the case. But nobody has a room that has Ngakoue, Allen, and Chason. Now, I understand there's a little bit of hope in there, too, because you haven't seen Chason. And even Allen's just done it for a year. But that's a lot of love right there in that room, man. I think people would say, you can go get me Khalil Mack and whoever. Yep. You can go get me Von Miller and Chubb. And I think a lot of people would take that. But if I threw in Chason along with what the Jags have, I don't know. It's tough to beat. Not too many people have it.
You're right.
So I think I'd lean that way. I still feel like I think you're better long term if I can get Jan and keep him and make us so different at 25 years old, 23 years old with Josh Allen, I'm guessing there. I don't know exact age. And what's Chase on, 22, 23? I mean, holy cats, man. I got my pass rushing unit for the next 5 years, and quite frankly, I'm only paying one of them for the next 3. Yeah. So that's why I still hold out the hope of Jan. I just think it's something that makes you so unique, and I just don't get the feel. I mean, think about safety positions, and think about who's been so impactful. And there have been some good ones now. Earl Thomas, most recently.
Ed Reed.
Ed Reed is a fantastic example. Palomalu,
of course,
Hall of Famer. So you need them, but not as much as you usually need the pass rushers.
Yeah.
What if you had answered the question? I mean, given what the Jags had. Now, again, you're asking me, would I be okay riding with Chason and Allen for the next however many years? And now I have Adams in that back end. It's a great question. I just feel like with Jan, it makes me so unique.
It does.
I got something. When I can have something the rest of the NFL doesn't have, I want that.
No, you're right there. Definitely a hard question. Kind of regretting asking it now because I have to answer this one myself. I look at it like this, and you know how I feel about depth in terms of pass rushing. If I can get Yannick Ngakoue, if I can get Chase on, if I can get Josh Allen on the field at the same time, like in that NASCAR package, goosebumps for days, okay? I'm excited for that. And let's be honest, with a pass-happy league, you're probably in that kind of package, maybe realistically 20% maybe of the play calling there. So I get that. But I'm also a realist, and I'm also a big picture type of thinker in terms of football. And I know that, yes, would keeping Yannick Ngakoue be beneficial? You better believe it, man. 25 years old, very young. You can do a lot of things with him. But at the same time, to have Yannick Ngakoue, to have Josh Allen, and Chase on the field at the same time, like I said, it's only 20%. When I can have Jamal Adams on the field 100% of the time. When I can have Jamal Adams play free safety or strong safety. If I have to stop the run against the Tennessee Titans, Jamal Adams, come on down to the box and say what's up to Derrick Henry for me because you're going to put him on his back. If I have to stop the passing game, maybe the Indianapolis Colts, all right, Jamal Adams, you know how to stop Phillip Rivers. Just stay back there, make the right play calls, and do your thing. So I just think in terms of what he can give you, not only from a leadership standpoint, from a physicality standpoint, and also you can do a lot of dynamic things with Jamal Adams. I think Jamal Adams is the answer for me.
That's an interesting one. It's a good call. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a wrong answer.
There's not a wrong answer.
Right?
Yeah.
It makes you dynamic. I think here's what makes me better.
Yeah.
Are you that deficient at safety that you feel like it needs that kind of upgrade? It would be a mega upgrade because you already do have the bodies at defensive end if you see Jan go. And I just saw Pro Football Focus said if you could have rank these top 4 rushing offenses, I think is what they put out there. And, the Ravens were one. Now I forget who the other one was. It might have been the Panthers with McCaffrey.
Sure.
And then 2 other ones were Colts Titans. So, the Jags' emphasis, here's what the Jags are right on. They have an emphasis on stopping the run this year. Well, in their division, that's a good emphasis to have. That's the scarier part of the offenses, even with Phillip Rivers, even with Deshaun Watson. Now with Hopkins gone, the scarier part of those 2 teams and 2 out of the 3 teams in the division is the run game.
Yeah.
And so from your vantage point, Jack Stan brings this up, and I think it's a good comment. Might be looking way into this, but we've heard stories about how some in the locker room were upset with the front office for paying big money to guys outside the organization before rewarding their own. Assume they'd have to pay Adams post-trade, which they would have to. Wonder if the team is aware of that. It's a good thought. Now, I think there was a little bit of a mixed bag. I think, yes, the Norwells of the world, but there was also some angst inside that building with the Ramseys and everybody about paying Bortles, about paying, I think, even Linder at the time. And so it had some in-house payment plans, too, that people weren't too happy about. I don't get the sense a guy as a proven commodity, this would feel more like paying Calais Campbell. I don't think anybody viewed paying Calais Campbell was a mistake or was like, what are you doing? Why aren't you paying me? And I think Adams would fall into that because of his history and his resume.
Yeah, I think Schobert falls in that category too, where all of a sudden you bring in a pretty legit middle linebacker and you're talking about a new defense.
I would say, though, I think Adams even carries more weight than that, right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Someone might be like, if you hadn't paid Miles Jack and maybe paid him too soon, Jack might be like, what the hell are you doing?
No, for sure. Right? I agree with that. Yeah, but they did pay him. Listen, anytime that you're capable of bringing an all-pro player in, regardless of the position, Brent, like that means something. Okay, whether it was like a Calais Campbell or it's like an Adams now, like that carries some weight. Now, do you have guys in the locker room that be like, whoa, you're going to bring this guy but not pay me? I really don't think so, because at the end of the day, you see Jamal Adams' accolades, and obviously you know who he is as a player because you play against him or you have peers that played against him, so you hear the stories. I mean, that type of guy coming into your franchise shows that you're trying to win. Okay? So, like, I don't think, current players are trying to get new contracts and be like, well, I can't believe they're bringing him and I'm getting screwed over. No, man, they're bringing him in to win. They're bringing him in to try to win a Super Bowl. That's the goal of this whole thing. That's why we're here in the first place. So either you get on board and you get with it or you get out. But, like, bringing a guy like that in is an indication that you're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think, keep in mind, too, I think the Jags have gotten rid of a lot of the players that might show angst over such a move. They have such a young locker room. They have nobody to pay. They have Jan to try to get done if they're still trying to do that. And outside of that, they really don't have anybody they have to pay. Now, there are guys that could earn it, from Fournette to Robinson to Dede Westbrook and others. But there's nobody they have to throw a bunch of money at right now, unless I'm missing somebody. They're that young. So they don't have, at least for the next year or two, they wouldn't have that kind of mentality. And again, keep in mind, we're going to talk about Jalen next. And Jalen is a guy that tried to get paid 2 years in advance and brought that angst into the situation. a little out of order.
Yeah.
Is where that started. Now, there's a lot going on there. I get it. But one of the guys that showed angst about the Bortles's and those kind of contracts is a guy that was trying to get paid like for his superstardom earlier than most people get paid for their superstardom. And I guess Adams, to a degree, is trying to do a little bit of that, too, and take control of his contract so the team doesn't have total control over him right now. Jan just tried to do it as well.
DeAndre Hopkins tried to do it as well. DeAndre Hopkins wanted to get paid. I think he had 3 more years on his contract.
Yeah, true.
And Bill O'Brien's like, I guess we got to – I mean, once again, if I'm Bill O'Brien, I'm like, no, you're going to play another year.
Yeah.
This is how contracts work. Not going to lose you. One of the best wide receivers in the league. But Bill O'Brien's like, let's see what David Johnson's talking about. Let's just see what happens there. But whatever. But, yeah, I mean, there's the fine line, right? Like, where is it proper if you're, a star player in the NFL? Where do you have the jurisdiction to go, you know what, I deserve a new contract? Is it 2 years out? Is it 3 years out? Is it 1 year out? It's hard for me to say, Brent. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think agents and some players have tried to change the game.
They are trying to change the game, and listen, there's a reason why the star players are doing this, right? Because they have all the leverage. And listen, say what you want about Jalen Ramsey not being here anymore. I get that he left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But I would much still rather have Jalen Ramsey here than not have him here. Okay, I think Jalen Ramsey is that great of a player. I think he's that important of a position at the cornerback spot. Now, I get it. Regardless of what you think about him off the field, on the field, the guy was pretty legit. So players realize that, listen, if you're a bona fide wide receiver, if you're a bona fide corner, even if you're a bona fide safety, I think, you still have the power. Teams will be willing to make a risk. I mean, look at Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is one of the best running wide receivers in the league. And the Oakland Raiders paid him an extra $30 million just for a sip of tea at training camp. Teams will always be willing to risk it for the biscuit because, once again, if you bring in these high-caliber, talented players at the most premier spots, they're gonna make an impact on your team. So, once again, am I upset that, guys ask for contracts 3 years out of the game? 3 years left on the contract, a new one? I'm not upset about it because at the end of the day, I don't hate the player, Brent. You gotta hate the game.
Yeah, I get it. To Jack Stan's question, I think is twofold. One, I don't think the climate of the locker room is like it was a couple of years ago in that regard. So I don't think you're going to get a whole bunch of that. You're so young. It's hard to get that. And two, I think a guy like Jamal Adams in this type of situation warrants a payday. And also the resume says he's a heck of a football player. And so you kind of want, to your point, if you're going to win, if you're trying to build to win, you want guys like that. You need guys like that. You have to pay guys like that eventually, even from the outside, if you're going to get it done. But it's a really good question. Jamal Adams, Yannick Ngakoue, we're getting some answers. We have it out there on Twitter. Who would you prefer? Who makes you better? Jan, Adams is an answer. Adams easily. Jan is an answer. So a couple of each right now. And again, what I even put out there when I put in social media, if you want to answer this question, and you can always jump in as well on the phones, 904-362-9901, *690. You've got to assume that the relationship with Jan is smoothed over. It got done. It got figured out. I know there's a lot of angst with Jan right now, but I'm asking you from a football standpoint. If you're building a football team, if it didn't have all this stuff going on with Jan, who makes you better right now? Who do you want on this team? Who would you take if you had a choice of one or the other, given what the Jaguars have and don't have? And right now it's kind of split down the middle with a couple of the responses that we got. Hey, when we come back, we will talk a little Jalen Ramsey. If Jalen Ramsey signs and he communicates well with L.A., and he's kind of indicated he did, and Rams take care of him because they, kind of have to. They gave up so much.
You're not committed to him.
But it doesn't become drama-filled. What does it say about Ramsey, what he did here in Jacksonville? Or what does it say about the Jacksonville Jaguars' inability to get something done and keep him here? Is there anything it does say? Be interested about that because there is one more big I hate Jalen thing coming. And that's when he lands this mega deal that will make him the richest cornerback in the league, in the league's history. And he will land that at some point. But fans around here ain't going to like it. and they're rooting for drama.
Yeah.
We are in Jacksonville, people are rooting for drama with LA.
Yep.
Because we had to deal with it.
Yeah.
Now hopefully you have to deal with it.
Can't wait to get into this. Yeah.
It's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Gradually becoming partly cloudy today, but there will also be some showers and storms at times with some heavy downpours and storms that will produce gusty winds and a lot of lightning. Highs in the mid-80s, dropping to near 70 tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Right now, get 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything in the store. Beards Diamonds. Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see him today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details.
Been feeling a little cooped up lately? Well, you should buy a boat. Want to get away from people for a while? You should buy a boat. Been dying to get back on the water? You should buy a boat. Want to finance up to 100% of a new boat and get 60 days of no payments? Then you should buy a boat. With the help of One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. For a limited time, you can also get a free entry into the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament with your boat loan. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Isn't it time you bought a boat?
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
As prescription costs rise, many Medicare beneficiaries are having difficulty keeping up. The Florida Department of Elder Affairs SHINE program may be able to help. SHINE counselors can guide you to money-saving programs, including one that may help pay your Medicare Part D costs. For more information, call 1-800-963-5337 or go to floridashine.org.
What occasion have you missed because of the COVID crisis? A birthday, anniversary, a proposal? Now you can make it better. Beards Diamonds announces our most exciting financing offer ever.
Get 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything. How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month. Or a pair of diamond studs for $3,000? You pay just $50 a month.
Beards Diamonds, locally owned at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
Hey, boss, I brought the loot back from the warehouse.
Uh-huh. And how many stops did you make with our stolen merchandise in the van?
Stops? How'd you know, boss?
'Cause now I have something called Connected Car.
Connected Car?
Yeah, I got it through the Safe Touch security system we have at the warehouse.
Wait, Connected Car is linked to the van?
Yeah. Say you're a parent with a teenager you want to keep an eye on, or a boss who wants to monitor commercial vehicles. Or maybe you got an employee that likes to stop for fries and milkshakes when he should be coming straight back.
It was onion rings.
No stops next time.
Got it. Jeez, Connected Car. Just add that to the reasons we have the Crooks of Us motto,
stay away from Safe Touch houses. It's a long list.
Here, I saved you an onion ring.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Tire Outlet, the local name in tires that you know and trust, is now offering mobile installation. Tire Outlet mobile installation is safe, no hassle, quick, and same day at your home or office. A Tire Outlet professional will bring and install your tires right on site while staying safely distanced. The only thing easier than getting new tires with mobile installation is making the appointment. Call 904-600-0089 to reserve an appointment. Tire Outlet is part of the First Coast community and is in this with you.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We're all about saving you money, especially right now, where we all need great deals to put smiles on our faces. So check out a hot new Silverado and save up to $9,500, or a new Equinox crossover and save up to $6,500. Plus, you can delay the first payment for up to 4 months. Check out the deals at GordonChevy.com, arrange for home delivery, curbside pickup, or visit us in our freshly clean showroom. We are here to accommodate. Gordon Chevy and the money-saving end of Blanding in Orange Park. Chevy, find new roads.
There's a new modern patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge are in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
When times are tough, we veterans take care of our own. If you or your loved one needs emotional support or connections to community resources, call the Florida Veterans Support Line at 1-844-MY-FL-VET.
Redbox has fun and excitement the whole family will love. Get ready to solve the greatest mystery of all time. Stream the theatrical home release of Scoob. Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and Mystery Inc. face their biggest, toughest mystery yet and discover that Scooby's secret legacy could be the key to stopping a global dog apocalypse. Scoob is now available, so stream this premium rental with Redbox on demand on your smart TV or favorite device today. Subject to applicable taxes. Additional terms at redbox.com.
With COVID-19, even more local families need food, and kids could use something to smile about. Give a gift in any amount to Jewish Family and Community Services, and it will automatically double. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for hunger, here for Jack.
Our normal way of life has been changing quickly due to coronavirus. New rules to follow, and basically all sports have been put on hold. Heck, you might even be working from home. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you're not in the car from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m., check in on Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Got a chance to visit the Kennedy Space Center on 7. That was during the peak shuttle period at the time when they were shooting off about 4 shuttles a year, to really wanting to learn more about the space and the aviation world, to getting the degree, to then showing up in February at the badging station and being an official employee of NASA. It was a pretty unique experience, to say the least, and very informative. I learned a lot of technical things about what it's like to be an aerospace engineer every single day.
That's Joshua Dobbs, Jaguars quarterback and NASA intern. He goes by Astro.
Yep.
When we talk about him.
Yeah, he does.
Kind of gave him that nickname, right? Because on his suit.
Yeah.
Or did we give it to him, or did he say that's what he picked?
Yeah, I mean, we're being kind of generous right now with ourselves. He actually picked his own nickname.
He picked his own.
Astro.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if we gave it to him.
That'd be pretty cool, though, if we did. Can you imagine him, go and walk on the moon? This is Astro. And we can be like ESPN 690 right there.
Either way, we approved of it.
We did approve of it. Yep. We gave him the clearance. So there you go.
Well, so Dobbs is down for the SpaceX launch today. Supposed to go, I think, at 4:33.
Yeah.
Well, it got scrapped. As we're going to break, got breaking news that it got scrapped. So they're going to try it again on Saturday. Weather was 50-50 down there. Saw some of the storm clouds. Obviously, you need ideal conditions. Would have been the first time American astronauts into space since 2011.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, man. I am not smart enough to know science and space and all that. It's kind of like the weather. If I was a little bit smarter and could get the science part down, I could have easily gone into the weather side of it. I'm fascinated by the weather.
Sure.
but I'm not smart enough. So, but I am fascinated with NASA. I was a space camp kid. I told you that before. I went to space camp when I was in like 5th grade.
Yeah. A couple things. Number one, when we talk about what can you do to kind of set yourself apart a little bit, Brent, from a mental exertion and physical exertion, become a weatherman, Brent. Become a weatherman. If you do that, Kuz will have respect for you.
Does it count that I already did the weather in Louisiana? It is not fitting the bill.
Don't tell me that.
That doesn't quantify it.
Don't tell me that. Okay, well, I'm trying to help you, try to make it feel better. What was the other question here you bringing up? Sorry.
Nah, nothing. Do you like the space stuff?
Oh, dude, do I love I mean, I don't
like
it.
Does he know the launch was happening?
He didn't know the launch was happening. And I'm kind of guilty about that. That's my fault, and that's my bad. Chalking up for the bad parenting list. As a kid, I was obsessed with space. Like, my favorite book as a kid was I Want to Be an Astronaut. Like that was the book. And I literally I was 6 years old and I would impress people because I had it memorized, right? Like I had like this 20-page book memorized, but I'd act like I'm reading it in front of people for the first time. They're like, wow, 6 years old, the kid can already read words? No, I just read the book like 100 times, have it memorized, but it is what it is. But yeah, I always wanted to be an astronaut as a kid. I was fascinated with space, with spaceships, with planets. Like that was definitely my jam. And it's almost kind of like nostalgic when these things happen, right? I mean, unfortunately, it didn't get launched today, but hopefully Saturday goes off without a hitch. But like, it's kind of like the inner child who's like, wow, we're going to space again. It's pretty cool. And now let's be honest here. SpaceX Dragon? Are you kidding me? Could you imagine being an astronaut on SpaceX Dragon?
Pretty cool.
Like, I mean, is there anything more badass than that? Like maybe like SpaceX Warhawk? But besides that, Dragon, like, all due respect to Apollo 13, all those guys, like, but yeah, I was part of Apollo 13. Wow. Thank you for your service. That's awesome. I was part of SpaceX Dragon. Oh, well, right this way, sir. Here in Ruth Chris, free steak for you, free beer for you. Like, dude, if you're SpaceX Dragon, that means something.
It's pretty cool. We went down to watch the final. It was supposed to be the final night launch. Morning launch, early morning launch, so in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was really an early morning launch.
Yep.
So we went down there and with the kids, and this would have been, I think it was around that time. I don't know if the final time we sent Americans to space was also that final night launch, like in 2011, but it would have been around that time. Mm-hmm. So I can't remember. But we went down there. Everybody's down there, right? And you're sitting across the water and you got the backup and ready to roll. And kind of the kids are sleeping. They're like 5.
Yeah.
And but we're ready to wake them up.
Yeah.
We're down 4 a.m. The thing get scrubbed.
Dang.
Scrapped. I think scrubbed works.
Scrubbed works, yeah.
But so we went down and we didn't see, and then we never went back down. So that would have been pretty cool to see. It's just a neat place overall, and I think it's an interesting thing that people get so excited about. Mm-hmm. It fascinates me how people are excited. Like everybody at work, when a rocket gets launched or, back when the shuttles would go more regularly, seems like everybody exits the building just to try to catch that glimpse.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And and I think there's a couple of things like that, right? Like, let's be honest. If you're a kid, you probably grew up at one point wanting to be a fireman. If you're a kid, you probably grew up at one point wanting to be an astronaut. Like, even like, dude, if I see a fire truck, doing its thing, I'm like, dang, look at them go. I wonder where they're going. Like,
heck, that was one of our most fun shows.
It was, man.
At the fire station.
Yeah, Brent's pretty much like a co-parent now with me because he took Ronan to see some fire trucks, and all of a sudden,
it was
I'm
more
not
for us than
anymore.
Ronan. We thought it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. But there's like those little instances where it brings back the nostalgia. Like, I remember as a kid, I wanted to be a fireman. I remember as a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. So it's cool, in our hectic, everyday kind of, scripted kind of lives that we have. Every once in a while, you can just kind of stop and say, like, dang, they're going to space. Dang, there's a fire truck. Like, those moments are few and far between, and when they happen, it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, very cool. So it gets scrapped, scrubbed, whatever way you want to say it. I don't know the proper word. I feel like scrubbed is the right word, but now I'm wrestling mental gymnastics inside my head of which way it's supposed to go.
Probably scrapped, right?
I feel like it's scrubbed.
Okay.
But it might be scrapped.
Yeah.
Either way, it'll be on Saturday.
Exactly.
Check out tonight, though, Action Sports Jack Stuart Weber caught up with Joshua Dobbs about the internship with NASA and about Astro. And they'll have that story coming up later on tonight. I think at 5:45 on CBS 47 and Fox 30, but definitely we'll show it tonight, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47.
I'm trying to throw you softballs here, man. I'm trying to find you something that you can do that would, be impressive mentally and physically. What about if you go in like that chamber that spins you around in space camp? That Joshua Dobbs did.
I was too young to go on that.
Yeah.
But let me be completely honest with you. If I could have gone on that, because I was in 5th grade, but I did not like roller coasters or anything, I was not going on it.
Not going to go on it?
No, that would not. That was like I would have been scared of that.
Now?
No, now I'd probably do it.
Okay.
But no, now I'd definitely do it.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, it's not going to be ideal. Well, there you go. That's your thing then.
Yeah.
That's your thing to do.
I mean,
okay. How many people have can you do that? How many G's? We know Joshua Dobbs. He'll get you in.
It's like, do you know one of the rides is it Epcot or Disney? Coos, you're gonna have to help me out, maybe. Do you know Disney and Epcot really well?
Sort of.
Forget it. I will, you're not gonna know it.
What do you got?
There's one ride where you can go on. It's like you stand up.
Yeah, and it spins.
And it's kind of like. I think it's something to do with space. It's near it's got to be Disney because it's near Space Mountain, I think.
Okay, I was going to say Space Mountain.
No. It's not Space Mountain. But you actually stand up, and it's like one of those
centrifugal force things,
like virtual experiences.
I'm way off.
But you can go on 2 different levels. One's like, hey, this one's a little crazy and advanced, or this one's like the moderate one.
Okay.
I don't go on those ever again. Not even the moderate one.
Really?
It's bad.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not proving your case right now to try to set yourself apart with this, like the space cam stuff. If you can't handle something at Space Mountain.
It's not Space Mountain. I can handle Space Mountain.
Okay. But
I kind of like Space Mountain.
What do you mean you can't handle it, though? Like, what's so bad about
it? It made me like dizzy. And you're kind of claustrophobic.
He's out then. He's not going to
I
space
do
camp.
struggle with those kind of like the roller coasters that are like virtual reality roller coasters on top of it. Like I think even the Harry Potter one, and there's a lot of video element to it. Spider-Man one's like that too.
Yep, I've been on that one.
And I think the actual movement with the video like really messes me up. Like I actually don't feel good when I get off.
Mission Space. I knew Steph would come up big for me. Mission Space.
Shout out to Steph. Mission Space.
Mission Space. I will tell you too. My buddy Uncle Pat. He asked off Mission Space. He's like, I don't want to do it. He got in, and he's like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it.
It's going to be a no for me.
Yeah.
And then escort him out.
And Uncle Pat's like 260 now. Dude, big guy asking off Mission Space.
Is there anything? Dude, I've been on this. Yeah, when I was a kid.
Mission Space is rough, man.
So
it's and I don't mind those virtual ones. Like I really like soaring.
Okay.
And now keep in mind, I was like 10 years old. I went on this ride. I distinctly remember now. You didn't do a good job explaining. That's okay, though.
I know.
But hey,
but you do stand up in it.
You do stand up, yeah. And there's like the control things right in front of you. Yeah. I'm going to say this. Now, I'm not going to be like your uncle and walk away. It's okay. But to be like, you're going to go on it again? I'll be honest, man. It wasn't that bad to me. I'm kind of like the guy from the Michael Jordan documentary who's like, hey, Brent, hey, you know what? Mission Space? Nah, wasn't too bad for me. It's okay.
We had,
Mission Space wasn't good.
When Nicole and I first started dating, I guess she felt like she had to impress me a little bit, and she's terrified of roller coasters. So
I like her already.
Had to impress Coos.
So
Go figure.
We were in line to the whole day with Disney. We're doing whatever she wants to do, and I wanted to go on Tower of Terror. And she finds like, fine, I'll go on Tower of Terror. And I was like, we could do Rock and Roller Coaster instead. Like, that's dark, it's quick, it's probably better for...
Oh, it's a Tower of Terror. Freak you out now.
So we get in there. She's good. And like the whole time I'm like, if you want off, we can leave. We don't have to do this. We can leave.
Yeah.
She's good, kind of quiet. You can tell she's like getting through the motions.
Yeah.
And then the elevator opens up. We sit down and we buckle in. And right as we buckle in and the doors are shutting, she goes, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, oh, there's no going back now. Yeah. We are like, you are locked in. Like,
that's
we
awesome.
are done. And she hated it.
I'll tell you what, man. Shout out to Mount Olympus in Wisconsin Dells. Brent, you ever heard of the Wisconsin Dells?
No.
Okay, it's a big tourist spot in Wisconsin, one of the world's largest water parks in Noah's Ark. But they have this really sweet go-kart track there. And at the go-kart track, they have a thing called Mount Olympus. They have a roller coaster there. All wood. And I'm talking like the old school wood. Like where you get on it starts creaking a little bit like,
Oh, yeah.
But get this, though. They do it at night as well. So you're in pitch black outside on this wooden roller coaster. Man, you want to talk about a rush? Been on there like 100 times. Couldn't get enough of it as a kid.
Ugh. You and Steph could go to the amusement park.
Phoenix. We had that up in Pennsylvania at Knoebels. First roller coaster I ever rode.
If they never reopened an amusement park, I wouldn't mind.
Was it bad that I've never taken my son to Disney yet? He's 5 years old.
What?
We haven't been there yet.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
Well, Yeah,
You gotta take him to
I guess now you're like he's aware.
This is a good age. This is a good age.
But is he tall enough to like ride the rides?
Oh, dude,
yet?
he can go on anything. Come on
Okay,
now.
okay.
Yeah, you see how tall that kid is?
Yeah.
That kid could probably drive a car right now if he wanted to.
Meanwhile, Ty and Kaylee just passed the limit like last year.
But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I'm not gonna take like a 2-year-old kid there because he can't appreciate it.
Nah.
Here, son. Here, let me go ahead and buy you a $50 Mickey Mouse
don't do
container
it.
that you're never gonna remember. Oh, here's Chippendale. You don't know who they are because you're 2 years old and you can't talk. But
He would
enjoy.
love like the Toy Story Land that they just opened up.
But 5 years old's a good age.
5 years old's a great
He
age.
would love that, yeah.
So we'll get on that eventually.
I can't. Well, you got to go, man. You got to
I
go
know.
because you have to go like all day and experience when it changes from the happiest
Easy.
place on earth to the most miserable place on earth.
Easy.
It's about 7 o'clock every night.
It really does.
Do they allow you to bring flasks in?
No.
Okay, well, I spend $20 on a mixed drink. Can't
You're
wait.
gonna have to buy your own
As long-
flask. Although if
when you go
to
back,
the,
maybe as long as you're wearing a mask, maybe
No,
you can
it's-
have the
if
flask.
you go to like the Avatar place, they
Yeah.
do like margaritas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Built-in mask with a flask in it, Brent, with a straw. Now we're talking,
Patent
boys.
that.
Patent
It'd be
that right
tough
now.
to detect that.
Yep, go and patent that right now.
All right. Hey, we got to get to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey says to the media that he indicates, hey, I'm not going to hold out. Rams know what I want. We're on the same page. My question is, let me ask you this. Do you think Ramsey's contract will get done with little drama? Again, he's going to ask for and probably get the biggest contract ever for a corner, I would think.
Yeah. Do I think there's going to be drama with the LA Rams? No. I honestly don't think at all because, listen, if you're the LA Rams and you saw what was happening in Jacksonville with the back injuries, with all that kind of stuff with Jalen Ramsey, you knew what you were getting. So don't be upset if you go to the beach and get a little sand in your shoes. Well, don't be upset if you bring in Jalen Ramsey and expect it to be just a clear process. It's not going to be. So on the Rams standpoint, I think they know what to expect. I think they have the number already in mind, and I can see it being a pretty low-key kind of deal.
Okay. Yeah, I think they know. Listen, the Rams knew when they invested 3 picks and 2 first-rounders, they're going to have to pay up.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know what that looks like from a contract point of view, but I think Ramsey will get it. There's always going to be some back and forth. So I'm going to assume that it gets done and not too hastily. Mm-hmm. They have to. Ramsey's got all the leverage here. He's got a great resume. He's a good player. I think a very good player. And he also knows that they traded away a lot to get him. So it will get done. I don't think it's always smooth, but it will get done. So if it does, what does it say about what Ramsey pulled last year here in Jacksonville? Mm-hmm. Or what does it say about the Jaguars that it got to a point where he pulled what he pulled?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Where does it land in there?
Well,
because, listen, that was such a unique deal. And that was, on many respects, out of bounds, I think, what Ramsey did last year.
Sure.
And I also think we've hammered the organization about the way they've treated star players over the last couple of years, and the trend shows that.
Yeah.
And the latest is Ngakoue. So we've already laid all that out there. But I'm kind of curious if the Rams can handle it okay, and you know Ramsey's got a personality, you know he's asking for the world, and he wants the world because the money says something. It's not about the actual bank account. I get all of it,
sound like
right?
me now, Brent. I like that. Yeah.
Take that off the top.
Yep.
But what would it say? It was the charade out of bounds, or was it the Jags?
Listen, this is another, we use it all the time. We use it with Tom Brady, but this is another classic ex-girlfriend experience right now if you're a Jaguars fan, right? That you had something special in Jalen Ramsey, you had a lot of memories, and all of a sudden he goes off the wall, he goes crazy, okay? And like for whatever reason, it didn't work out, and he left, okay? Well, he goes to a team, or she goes to find another dude who you know, who maybe you talk to on the regular basis. And all of a sudden you go up to this dude, it's like, dude, why are you dating her? Like, what is that like? He's like, you know what? Not bad. It's actually pretty good. We're pretty happy, you know? And all of a sudden you hear that, it's like, well, why is it working out for them, but it didn't work out for me? And that's where the term of self-reflection comes in. And you take a good look in the mirror and go, you know what? Maybe it wasn't so much of Jalen Ramsey as it was me. Maybe a little bit of the self-responsibility falls directly on me. And when we talk about that, we talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars of how they handled the situation. Now, was the back thing messed up? You better believe it, okay? Did he bring a lot of distractions, a lot of unwanted attention in a negative way to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Absolutely. But once again, why did it stem from that? And to me, it obviously stems from the Jacksonville Jaguars organization, probably more specifically a Tom Coughlin.
How will he be viewed once he gets the big deal and get out of Jacksonville? Does it look like the right move? Like, did he lay the blueprint for others? Now, what you're going to tell me is Antonio Brown did some of this, and I get it. Players have done it. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio. People have asked out, but did he just lay a new blueprint? Because, to be honest with you, he gets ridiculed in Jacksonville about the back, but I'm not sure he gets ridiculed around the country about the back, and I'm not sure he shouldn't be. The back thing should have been blown up more than it's been, and that's a little shame on the national media, and that's because usually the agents are in the back pocket of the national media, and so I mean, and that's fine. I respect that. They get all their information from that. They work hard to get it, and relationships are relationships. But even the latest Ian Rappaport thing to come out, people around here just laugh to say it's not about the money. It's not about the money. Okay, well, it certainly felt like it was about the money in Jacksonville.
As messed up as this sounds right now,
in a Brinks truck.
As messed up as this sounds right now, Brent, if you're a Jaguars fan, or if you're the Jaguars organization, you're praying to the high heavens right now that the deal between Jalen Ramsey and the LA Rams goes on forever. And it gets ugly. Yeah. Because if it doesn't, then what does that say about your organization? If you're a Jaguars fan and you're all in on the Jaguars and all of a sudden Jalen Ramsey goes to a new team and signs a contract with no drama, how are you going to feel if you're a Jaguars fan? Not that excited. So Jaguars fans need to hope for that. We get like a season 5 of The Young and the Restless. Just chaos nonstop. Just nonstop. Well, he said this. Well, they said this. Now is it going to happen? Yeah, we'll see. But if you're a Jaguars fan, you have to hope for that, because if it goes smoothly, it says a lot about your organization, man. And once again, we talk about the bad optics and putting the Jacksonville Jaguars in the bad light. To me, if it goes off without a hitch with Jalen Ramsey signing a new contract, that puts the Jaguars in a bad light. It does.
Well, I'm going to say this, though, with a caveat that I don't think people are willing to discuss enough. All of that stuff kind of transpired. And again, I'm not sure this is the only thing. They made Tom Coughlin the scapegoat. How much just Tom Coughlin and how much of it is the organization, I think we don't know. Because what the Jags will say internally, and this might be a bad self-reflection of themselves, say, well, we fixed that because Tom Coughlin's not here.
You still made the decision to bring him in the first place.
That's right.
Okay?
But it's dangerous. But it can be a dangerous thing to do.
Yes,
is look at this situation and be like, well, that was Tom.
Zero responsibility. Zero responsibility.
And again, I mean, they kind of did it. I think even like if you look at it right now, we go back in the history of it. They did it with Gus. Said, hey, it's all Gus. Well, it worked in year 1. Said, okay, you're right, it was.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't really transpire much after that. So are they saying it's all Tom, and then we're going to find out in a year or 2 or 3, well, it's really more institutional inside their organization than it was one guy.
Listen, accountability is always absolute. And in terms of accountability, the Jaguars have to accept it, okay? Now, do you want to blame Tom Coughlin, make him the scapegoat? So be it. But at the end of the day, you still hired him. You still put him in charge, and you're responsible for the consequences after it. So hopefully the Jaguars can own up to that. We'll see what happens, but you just can't blame it all on Tom Coughlin. You seriously can't. I'm sorry.
The hate is real with Jalen Ramsey and the Jags fans, and it's going to ramp up a notch when he gets this mega contract, whenever that is. I have a hard time believing there will be no drama. And it would almost be disappointing if there isn't any drama with Jalen Ramsey.
If you don't get blocked in the next 3 months, I'm going to be so super disappointed.
I don't even know if he pays attention to us anymore.
He pays attention, Brent. You're always on his radar.
Google
Come on.
Ramsey. Search Ramsey. Yeah, it's happening. When we come back, more football talk and a little more on the baseball salaries and how we got so greedy in sport to get to a tipping point, I believe, and not just in baseball. It's next on ESPN 690.
From First Take to your radio.
Everybody is out because of the coronavirus. All the conditions that are restrictive to one is restrictive to all. And if somebody was smart enough to be dedicated during this time, more so than somebody else, those were probably going to be the champions any damn way. Get over it.
First Take, your take from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
You grab those dishes out of the dishwasher and they're not clean. Grab a drink of water and it really doesn't taste good. The Martinos got tired of doing that and washing the dishes again. So we called CGC Water. One of the best ways to take care of your family is having clean, purified water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. I've known the good folks at CGC Water for years now. They do it the right way. The team at CGC is taking extra precautions with in-home visits, offering no-contact sales and service appointments. And CGC has extended their current promotion. Buy a Kinetico Premier Softener and save 50% on a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system. That's the one I have. Like I found out, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. It's free to try it. CGC Water will test your tap water so you can better understand what is in your water. No obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia and my family. You can be next. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
House Authority Inspection Service, Diamond Car Wash, Tailor Made Roofing, St. Augustine Electric Motor Works, First Coast Nephrology.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
Skip a meal during COVID-19 for Clara White Mission by sponsoring Breakfast to Go for the homeless. It only costs $25 for 13 meals a day, $50 for 25 meals, or donate $500 to feed 250 homeless for a day. Join us as an individual, business, church, or civic association. Skip a meal for the Clara White Mission today. Visit clarawhitemission.org and click on Give Now or call 904-354-4162. Clara White Mission, over 116 years of service to our community.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the reopening of our local economy with our most amazing offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with no money down on anything and everything. Yes! Now, for a limited time, Diamonds Direct is doing our part to help you get back to normal and celebrate your love like never before. Our prices and values are the best ever. Our showcases are fully stocked, and we're letting you buy now with nothing down, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Been putting off that engagement? Get her a $6,000 designer ring now and pay just $100 a month. Did you miss celebrating that anniversary? How about a $3,000 Diamond Eternity Band for just $50 a month? Summer is the season for love, and we're doing all we can to make this summer one to remember with exceptional values, extra selection, and the most exceptional finance opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway.
Take a look out your window right now. Things appear basically the same, but you know they're not. Same with your business. There have been changes, some might even be permanent. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, how will you respond? Stay the course, or will you explore the new opportunities in front of you? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we know that those who explore often discover wonderful new things. If you're willing, we're able to help. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com. And let's build Jax.
The greatest mystery of all time is now streaming on Redbox. Don't miss the theatrical home release of Scoob. Discover Scooby-Doo's epic destiny and stream this premium rental with Redbox on demand today. Subject to applicable taxes. Additional terms at redbox.com.
There's no reason for senior citizens to face problems on their own. Elder Source's free helpline can connect you or your loved one with vital resources that offer increased independence and safety. Call 1-888-242-4464 today.
To those who love the grind, run with us on a John Deere Gator UV. Because your daily routine may change, but the land stays the same. There's still work to be done, a herd to keep in line, and ground to cover. Being linked to the land means the work never stops. So keep going on a Gator UV, featuring a hefty payload capacity, smooth riding suspension, and the power to forge ahead. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
Whether you're working remotely, taking web classes, binge-watching TV, or gaming, Dell is here to help you find the right tech. From XPS and Alienware computers that are redefining what's possible with 10th Gen Intel Core processors to the latest top brand electronics, our seamless tech solutions will help keep you connected. Plus, get free shipping. Call us today at 800-BY-DELL. That's 800-BY-DELL.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
This is a Rorschach test. Either you see somebody who is making $8 million to play a game for a few months at a time, or you see a guy who just got asked to take an 80% pay cut. And that distinction is going to be really interesting to see with the fallout here, because this, Scott, has galvanized the players. They are uniformly together on this in the idea of outright rejecting this proposal from Major League Baseball.
That's Jeff Passan, and no surprise that the big leaguers are going to reject this first one. That's called negotiations.
Yeah, that's how they work.
But this one, I think, ticked them off to a degree. At least that's what it sounds like. We've been saying it all along. I think most people agree. Public perception-wise, it's going to be a disaster for the players. I believe, principally, you have to wonder if the players are right. We hit on this a little bit earlier in the show, and I want to talk a little bit more about it. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, how it relates to sport and how greedy we've become in sports, how greedy owners have become. And I've always wondered this, especially in college football with the just crazy salaries. Are we going to reach a tipping point? And I think we're reaching a tipping point maybe in all sports, but there are two that jumping out at me. And Major League Baseball is one because of the current situation, and college football, or at least college athletics, are another. The way they've run college athletics to put that much emphasis on how much is made in football, to see the dollars that are now made in football paid to coaches, the importance level of that sport, and what it means in a disastrous kind of way for the rest of the college athletics, potentially. I think we've reached a bit of a tipping point. I do have to give a shout-out to a couple folks we were looking for scrubbed or scrapped. Scrub wins.
Scrubbed.
Or Tom Mill says scrubbed. Eric says scrubbed. In fact, we appreciate him listening to the show as it popped up on his Weather Channel app and said, stormy weather scrubs historic rocket launch at Kennedy Space Center.
I was wrong.
So we appreciate the help.
Scrubbed. Good to know. Good to know.
Good to know, for sure. All right, man. I don't want to get a little crazy in this. But sports, I think from the outside looking in, if you're not a sports fan, you're like, man, I mean, why is that person getting paid this much money? Mm-hmm. And I've always said, but whatever. Like my argument to that is they do something that you can't do most of the time. They do it at an excellent level. And why don't we complain about musicians and actors getting paid the amount of money,
right? Just going to bring up that point. Yep.
I think it's a fair argument. You know why? Because they're very talented. They're good at what they do. There's not a lot of people that can do what they do. And that's why they get paid. I mean, it's much like being an astronaut. I don't know how much astronauts get paid, but there are only so many astronauts. Why are these two going to space? Well, because there's not many others that can, probably.
They're the lead of the elite, yeah.
So whatever it is in your walk of life, and by the way, value is created by, I guess, your commodity in that sense.
It's kind of in the eye of the beholder, value.
Listen, I've seen a lot of people, especially these days, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're making that kind of money for what? What? They're not even good. Well, that's the world we live in.
Throw them out there, Brent. Who are you talking about, man? Throw them with the bus a little bit.
But, listen, in our industry, that happens a lot.
Sure.
It's like, really? Like, you didn't even go to school for it. You've been doing it for like 2 years.
Brent's trying to take a shot at me right now. It's all good, though.
No, but you're not making as much, not yet at least.
Yeah.
So, but you are kind of like,
Smith numbers.
You're kind of like, really?
Mm-hmm.
There is that. And I think a lot of that happens in sports because of the crazy amount of salaries. We hear $5 million, like, whoa, my gosh. Well, we hear $35 million, like, whoa. But as I always say, Tom Hanks probably got about $30 million to do a film, right? So I get that, and I've always defended it for the most part. But I've also always been very curious, when will we reach the tipping point? And I just said it. I equate it more to college football because college coach, can they really? What are you going to go up to? Can a college coach get paid $8 million? Can a defensive coordinator get paid $2.5 million? Like the haves and have-nots, you're widening the gap, first of all. And how much higher can you go? Like how much more money can you make? How saturated is it for what you're getting? The NFL is asking that question. That's led them to Mexico City and London, by the way, and maybe beyond, because they saturated it in the United States. So college football, can you go anymore? Where are we going with these dollars? Well, now what we're seeing, because of this, it took one event over 2 months to say, man, we're not getting any money. And if we don't make money, or if we don't make as much money as we thought we were going to make, how are we going to pay for this, this, and this?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great point, and listen, it's easy for us to talk about here, but like imagine being like that field hockey athlete right now that's on scholarship, but you don't know if it's going to even be happening next year, just because of football. And you put so much, you put so much importance on just one sport, and now when that sport has a possibility of being changed or going away, well then, the card castle crumbles, if you will. At the same time, though, I mean, yeah, like, I guess we have to ask ourselves, Brent, like, does it fall on the NCAA? Does the responsibility fall on the president? Does the president of a university? Does the responsibility fall on us fans, right? Because there is a market for football, okay? There's a reason why there's the ACC network. There's a reason why there's a Big Ten network. There's a reason why there's the SEC network. And with all due respect to field hockey, soccer, golf, and all that stuff, people don't tune in to watch that stuff on those networks. They tune in to watch football and sometimes maybe basketball, but mostly football. So because let's be honest. I mean, there's a precedent right now, right? There's things that aren't right. And when things aren't right, you point the finger. But who do we point the finger at? Do we point the finger at the president who's willing to pay a coach that much money? Do we point the finger at all the advertising that goes on with college football because they're paying the bills? Do we point the finger at, I don't know, the NCAA because they're not regulating it? Like, who do we point the finger at? And to be fair, I can't come up with a clear, definitive answer.
Yeah, I think let's just take the two things we're talking about. College football, you have to talk about administrations, athletic directors, boosters, and presidents, I think. That somewhere in that order. Those are the people that run sports, essentially. Boosters are a huge part of it. And so, yeah, I think they take some blame. You know why? Because it's the old whose was bigger argument. And in that world, whose is bigger matters.
Yeah.
And we've made it matter.
It's everything.
We've made it matter. And Alabama might be as guilty as anybody because Alabama says we love football and we love football at the expense of anything and everything. It seems like, again, I'm not sitting there in Tuscaloosa, but they'll do anything for football.
Yeah.
College football at Alabama. And you know what that means? They also win. They pay the price and they win. And the dollars keep rolling in, and they're a machine. And they've become a machine. And over the years, by the way, there are examples of a bunch of different ones. Whether it was Oklahoma back in the day, or
Miami
USC, Miami, whatever it was. Miami did, right? Yeah. Miami paid the price.
Yep.
And they paid the price, but it was worth it for some time until it fell off and, well, things started to backfire in that regard. But Alabama became so successful, and I'm just going to use Alabama as an example here. They're probably in the conversation with a lot of others, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida to a degree, whoever. And once you start winning, it gets out of control. And I've always found it so humorous that we need football-only facilities on college campuses. You're telling me a football-only facility helps you win college football games and national championships? And I say that is BS. No, it doesn't. Put them in a freaking dorm. Rent an apartment down the road.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let them go to the rec center on campus. Mix between everybody else on campus. Not isolate the football team and make them these like stars and country club kind of atmospheres. But people are, what they do say, and they're right, is yes, it does matter. You know why? Because that 5-star recruit's coming because he wants to be a part of it. That 4-star recruit's coming here because look at the buildings we have. This is a material world we live in. Thank you, Madonna. And these nice kids, pull. It means something to them. It means something to wear the Jordan brand, the Nike or Under Armour.
Or get in 25 different jersey combinations.
To have PlayStation in your locker room, to have this fancy new locker room. It does. I mean, and okay, so what you're going to say is, well, hey, man, they're just catering to the times, to the kid. I get it, but did you really have to? How about we just go play freaking football on a Saturday? And what you're telling me is, well, we did have to, and the people that have done it, Clemson now is the same way. They've been winning like crazy too. And I just think the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, where you're supposed to kind of endorse some form of fair play and parity in a sense. Listen, Murray State's never going to compete with Alabama.
Correct.
But there should be more schools that can compete with Alabama. And quite frankly, there are about a dozen in the whole country that can compete with Alabama. And again, I'm just using Alabama as an example. You get my point. Clemson, throw in your name, your big school, your Power 5 school. Ohio State, Michigan has tried, and they still can't do it. And immediately when we say they're not winning, like Florida State right now, what's their big problem? Oh, they don't have enough money and their facilities. They had to go ramp them up, and they're building a football-only facility. Florida, where did they get behind? They made great hires in coaching. They had great success in the Jeremy Foley era over the last 20 years. Now, all of a sudden, they're behind everybody. Why? Well, because they're lacking in facilities. Facilities help you win. It just got out of control, man. You have to build these $20 million buildings to win football games.
See, I see what you're saying here, but I think you're taking away a little bit from the coaching. And here's why I'm going to say that. Coaches, how much does Nick Saban make a year? $8 million? $10 million?
Say it's around 8. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's in that neighborhood.
It's a lot of money. Now, I don't know.
And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to compared to what he brings in there.
Here's what I'm saying. I don't know exactly where Alabama's facilities rank in terms of nationwide about football facilities. I assume it's probably top 10 in the country, and I assume, probably Clemson is top 10 as well. And yeah, maybe you go there for the jerseys. Maybe you go there because you grew up in the state and you know the importance of tradition, yada, yada, yada. But there's a reason why the top recruits in the nation, I'm talking those 5-star athletes that you see, on ESPN on a Friday night, there's a reason why they all go to Alabama and Clemson. Now, yeah, maybe it's because you got cool stuff, but I think it's because you have a chance to win a national championship. And it's a chance to be ingrained in the tradition, okay? Talk about Oregon. Dude, I've never been to Oregon, but I can only assume that their facilities are out of this world.
Absolutely.
I've seen videos. I've seen the PlayStations in each locker. I've seen the jersey combinations. I mean, dude, when I played in the Senior Bowl, Garrett Blount had 3 different helmets for practice. 3 different helmets. He had a green one, a silver one, and a black one. Meanwhile, I have a white helmet because Murray State forgot to send mine. I'm like, cool, awesome, right? So I don't think it's all about the bells and whistles. I think universities do that, not so much for the recruiting, but it's like a chance to one-up each university. For instance, when you're in the SEC, right, and you see Alabama, their stuff, well, all of a sudden Florida's like, well, look what Alabama has. We got to increase it a little bit because, well, we have to be on the same page as there. Now, yeah, does it make a difference in recruiting? Maybe, but I think that we're selling this generations of kids and just their attitude short a little bit because I think the kids want to come in and try to win a championship. I mean, at least that's what I wanted to do. Now, once again, went to Murray State. Didn't really pan out too well for me, but it was important for the right coaches. It was important for the tradition, and it was important for the chance to go out there and be great. Okay. I think that if you have a bad head coach or a bad position coach, that's going to turn that kid off even more than, well, what, you guys don't have a PlayStation in every single locker? I'm not coming here. So I'm just saying we shouldn't sell the kids so short.
Listen, I don't disagree with you that coaching matters and players matter and getting to the NFL. Like, I think the reason why kids go to Alabama is say, whoa, they got 15 guys a year drafted. Okay, I'll go there because I think they know how to get it done.
Yep.
Fair enough. But you brought up a great example. Oregon splashed on the scene not because of their coaches, not because of their players, because of their uniforms, facilities, and relationship with Nike. That says it all. Like, they splashed on the national college football scene. Yeah. They became a player. They became a uniform when Ty played flag football that they wanted to be the Ducks.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell knew about the Oregon Ducks?
And the Ducks aren't really sending fear. Like, the name the Ducks doesn't really send a lot of fear through anybody.
No, but they made it cool.
Yep.
And that appeals to kids just as much as the coach. And maybe not just as much, but there's a big part of it that appeals to kids. And it got out of control.
See, but you're not giving the coaches any credit, though, Brent. A guy by the name of Chip Kelly finds himself in Oregon and revolutionizes really the offense of the no-huddle offense, right? And then the high-powered offense. Like, yes, Oregon was, they were known for their crazy combinations and all, like, the high-tech stuff, but they're also known for being an offensive juggernaut, okay? And they attracted a lot of offensive skilled players because of it. Now, their defense, not so good. But I'm just saying, from what we see now at the spread offenses, the high-tempo offenses, a lot of that came from Oregon.
Yeah, well, listen. I will give you two examples that kind of, and I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong, because look, Dabo Swinney started winning, and then they started adding buildings.
Correct.
Now they were already committed, but I don't think they were that committed. They got more committed. They said, okay, it's time to play ball. It's time to play ball with Alabama. We're going to be the next Alabama. And you know what? Quite frankly, they might be. Like, they might be on an even playing field right now over the last handful of years with Alabama. I think the resume kind of says it. Then you look at somebody like Florida State. And they weren't building buildings fast enough for Jimbo Fisher, so he said, I'm out of here. Build me these buildings. Let's play with the big boys.
Yeah, I want a national championship for you. Yeah,
I want more private planes to go visit recruits.
Yeah.
I want my chopper landing somewhere in Jacksonville, like Kirby Smart and like Nick Saban's. Again, listen, I'm not saying I hate the game, because I like watching it too on Saturdays. But you're not being real with yourself if you think they've ruined it because of all the dollars. They have ruined it and created this tipping point that you knew had to exist somewhere down the road. Where was that? Now, what have they ruined? Will they ruin college football Saturdays? Probably not. I think they've ruined parity in college football. Every year I can give you 10 teams max that can win a national title. Max. And it might be 6 because there's no parity in it. And so, yeah, you might get an upset here or there, but we know who's going to be the cream of the crop in college football most years before the season begins. It's Major League Baseball in that sense. Isn't it kind of funny that we're talking about Major League Baseball and college football in that sense? The other thing it did, and I don't think the college football big boys and old school guys and good old boys care about it, is they've ruined a lot of the other athletics now because of it. And yes, did they fund a lot of that? Absolutely. Created a lot of dollars, generated a lot of dollars to fund other sports, grow athletic departments. But obviously the formula wasn't fail-safe because here we are. So now it's impacting sports all over the place. I think NCAA presidents, athletic directors, everybody else has to really question their model and look into their model. And is this sustainable? Is this the way we want to go? And there are all different ways to go. Just get the hell out of it. Just say I've always said this, acknowledge your big business, take your 60 schools, and go run your big business and create college football for what it is. It's Power Fives because we don't want anybody else in. And there's only these schools that even have a chance. And by the way, there's probably 30 of them that don't have a chance, but they're going to play with the big boys anyway.
But then what happens to the other sports then, Brent, if you do that? You got to keep them in mind as well.
But then maybe you run those other sports like they were intended to run all along as non-revenue sports. You fundraise, you get donations, but they all go into this little kitty, and it's not a $70 million kitty.
No.
It's kind of what it is. It's what probably the NCAA was intended to be in all those other sports at first. And now it's just gotten so far out of control that we're killing the other sports.
Listen, we began this conversation asking, well, who to point the finger at? Who's to blame out of this whole situation? And now as we kind of talk through it a little bit, and I try to gather my devices, I don't think you can just blame one person. I think I agree with you.
It's a systemic thing.
Yeah, but you have to blame the president, and you have to blame the universities because you're allowing this to happen, right? You have to, and let's be honest, Brent, we take some of the blame as well because we talk football more than anything on the show for a reason.
It's like cheating in the NCAA in basketball. And by the way, it happens in football too, but it's become more prominent in basketball.
Yeah.
We don't care. Give us March Madness.
Exactly.
Give me the damn bracket.
Sure.
I don't care. Just give me the bracket.
So we're also at fault here a little bit. I think head coaches of college football teams are definitely at fault. I think you mentioned a great example, Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher didn't get what he wanted from the private helicopters, whatever it was, so he took town and left, And I'm sure he probably lied to a lot of his student athletes and said, yeah, I'm going to be here for, your entire duration. I'm sure he sat in a lot of living rooms and said, I'm not going anywhere, man. We just won a national championship. Why would I leave? Come on to Florida State. Let's win some more. And I'm sure a lot of those players probably despise him for doing it. But I think a lot of the responsibility also falls on head coaches because you look at a head coach, it's like a kid that looks over a fence. It's like, whoa, look what Tommy got. Tommy got a brand new swing set. Why can't I get a new swing set over here? And then all of a sudden he's like, why can't I get a new swing set? Then I'm out of here. Like, let's be honest, man, okay? If you're making a couple $1 million here for ever coaching, you're doing pretty well for yourself, okay? Do you really need the new facility? Do you really need the private? It should be about coaching. Like, how good of a coach are you? If you want that stuff, then go win some more. Don't just tuck your tail and go someplace else because you don't have anything that you need. Then get what you need, and you get what you need by winning. You don't just tuck your tail and run. So some of it falls on the coaches as well. And then obviously the biggest thing is the NCAA. And we talk about all the time on this show, there's a lot of things wrong with the NCAA. And I think, let's be honest, the NCAA has kind of been the chaperone through this whole process. They've been the ones in charge of regulating everything. They've been the ones in charge of kind of monitoring stuff. And let's be honest, when we see the optics now of this COVID-19 pandemic comes across and all of a sudden we see, wow, they really rely on college football for everything, don't they? Well, that's on the NCAA's watch. So some at least blame has to fall on them as well.
Well, I think it's just the structure, the way it's set up. Do they have to revisit it? Do they have to make it more fail-proof when you have stuff like this happen? Again, this is so unique, but it's exposing warts. It's exposing the way things are run and done. And obviously, it's not survivable for the way it was structured. Like, you can't continue to do this. Like, you can't continue to buy if you're not making any money at your house. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up with you. And it feels a little bit like some athletic departments, UConn the latest, has been a little bit in that predicament. One thought I want to mention Major League Baseball here, because I think Major League Baseball is hand in hand, and they're showing this. Did they raise ticket prices too much? Did they become too corporate? Did they sell out for the $12 beverage at a game? And again, consumers are at fault because we're willing to do it. But at the same time, people have questioned attendance in baseball a little bit at times. Is it all the TV contracts in Major League Baseball that's made this such a profitable sport? Like we say, wow, baseball's doing well. Profits, man. They're making a ton of money. Well, then what happened? Baseball players like, I want some of that money.
Of course.
I'm the reason you're making that money. You know what? They have a point. Well, now all of a sudden we have $30 to $35 million contracts. And here we are, when you'd want to dock them 5/6 of that because you think it's a survival mechanism during this time, they don't want to do it. I almost wonder in big league baseball, did they get too greedy? Yes, absolutely, because everybody gets greedy in business. Everybody. If you start making money, you want more of it. Any business that sells anything, if a sales guy does $200,000 worth of business, what happens if you're in sale? The next year, they want you to do $250,000. That's what happens. Like, you raised your own bar, and you have to go find new dollars and new ways to do it. Some of that's creativity, some of that's great job, but other times, like in this kind of business and in Major League Baseball, has it become too much? Did they charge too much for a ticket? Did they kind of outprice themselves for concessions? Do they have to take on almost a minor league model a little bit more? And while doing so, their bottom line may shrink a bit, but also the player's salary won't balloon as high. Like, when you're making $35 million a year to play baseball, again, I appreciate it because it's something that few people can do. Mike Trout's unbelievable. He's the most underrated athlete maybe of our time, quite frankly. he's amazing at the game. In that context of the game, he earns the $35 million. And what they make out in Anaheim, he's earning that because he's a big reason they're making that. But is it too much? Is it not sustainable? I don't think anybody has asked that question, is it sustainable? And now, guess who's asking the question? Mm-hmm. Everybody in business because of what just happened the last 2 months. Yeah. Are we just going to keep everything the same and say, keep our fingers crossed and hope there's never anything like this again and just continue on and say this was a bump in the road? Or will it change around the structure of things? I think it's crystal clear on college campuses the structure is changing because sports are going away. Yeah. I wonder in Major League Baseball if some of the structure, the way it's set up, will now change on the other side of this because of what we're seeing these last couple of months and what we're about to see with this player versus owner conflict over the next couple of weeks.
And that's exactly where we're at right now in terms of Major League Baseball. We're at player versus owner. And usually how this works out for whatever reason, I can't really put a finger on it, Brent, is when it's player versus owner, usually society will more than likely, depending on the situation, but like with money talks in this one, I think society is going to, have the owners back more than the players back. I really do. And it's crazy to me that we're talking about that, right? Because you see the owner, the owner the owner's the owner for a reason, right? He busted his butt more than likely. He started a business. He accumulated a lot of money, and guess what? He got to afford a baseball team. Fantastic. But the player can be said the same thing. The player was... the player spent his time playing Little League, traveling, whatever it was, but for whatever reason, he got to the highest of the highest levels, okay? And I think he's earned that money as well. So when we see these figures, when we see these percentages getting taken away from players, how could you not feel outraged, though? Right? Like, to me, sitting here right now on a Wednesday, and that tweet drops out saying, whatever, like the player is a percentage. Like, for instance, Mike Trout is going to make what? A couple $1 million?
$6 million out of 35 or 36, yeah.
I get it. It's still a lot of money, right? I mean, we're talking millions and millions of dollars. We're talking probably a half a season or a shortened season. I get that as well. But at the end of the day, dude, that's the contract. We always talk about, like, teams honoring contracts. You know what we always talk about? We talk about how NFL players should honor their contract. They should play 4 years and then ask for a new contract. Well, if you're the MLB right now, are you really honoring these contracts? And now, listen, I've never read an MLB contract before, so I don't know what it says, but I have a hard time believing it says, you know what? If we have a global pandemic and we play half a season, we're going to take away so-and-so percentage of money. I don't think the contract says that. So how can we stand behind contracts all the time in the NFL where it's like, well, he shouldn't ask for a new one. He should honor his contract and wait till he's done with it to ask for a new deal. But then we turn it around on its head, and now it's all of a sudden baseball players saying, well, where's our money? It's part of our contract. And society wants to go, well, times are tough right now for everybody. What are you squabbling over tens of millions of dollars for when I can't even go to work right now? It's not fair. It's a catch-22 in my opinion.
Well, it is a catch-22, but that's why perception is going to win the day, and the players really don't have an answer. I'm not saying the players are wrong, but why when you work at Publix and you make $12 an hour, you don't ever go to work and say, man, I should be making more. Publix is making $50 million a year.
Sure.
Well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
So look, the guy owns a baseball team. That's his right. He owns a baseball team. You're going to punish him for being profitable? It's no different than we don't do that in the business world. We do it in the athletic world all of a sudden. The power of, I think, players has really increased. Some of it right, but some of it the biggest part is it's really not relative to Publix. The comparison. Yeah. It's really not relative to anything. That's why we have such a hard time putting our minds around it.
Yeah.
$6 million sounds great to play baseball for me for 82 games.
For sure.
But I've never made $6 million a year. If you were telling me I made $36 million, I got to drop down to $6 million, I might have a beef with it too.
Yeah.
I'm putting my body through it.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, you have to honor the contract, right? Like, I mean, that's just, it is what it is.
Well, they have to come to an agreement because this is so unique. Yeah. They have to figure it out. They're rewriting the rules.
And listen, and I think I'm with you, Brent, where I'm not mad at baseball players. Like, I'm mad when that cat from the Tampa Bay Rays, the pitcher. Snell, yeah. I'm mad when you kind of, I guess, politicize and saying I'm risking my life and all this stuff, and you're putting your life on the line. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, maybe a little aggressive for my liking. Like, I get what you're trying to come across, but you're going about it the wrong way. Like, people don't need to hear that right now. Yeah, they don't need to hear that. But I get what he's trying to say, and listen, we'll see what happens with this whole thing, right? Because I've been very adamant about this since the start of the show. When you put all the money out there, when you put the behind the curtains of the dirty laundry that's happening right now, I don't think it helps your business. I think you go behind closed doors and you figure this out. We don't need to be talking about it on the show. We don't need to be talking about it on Twitter. I mean, obviously it's a big story, so we talk about it. But if the MLB wanted to save any kind of grace right now and go forward and try to, resurrect the fandom that is MLB, I would do it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Well, and MLB is in a different situation than any other sport. So it's hard to compare it to NHL and NBA. They've already got all their money for the year. Not all, but most. Totally different. MLB players haven't got a check yet this year. So it's a totally different scenario. Hey, Steve's been hanging on the line for a while. Steven jumps in on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We're way against the break. What you got, man?
Hey, I got a two-parter for you guys. One has to deal with the little bet you two have going on, whether the Patriots have a worse season than the Jags. Yep. Instead of Brett betting his house, because according to Austin, you've lost it twice.
Well, that's according to facts, not according to me. But yeah, go ahead.
Loser, and you guys could do a segment on this, needs to chug, not sip, one of Ben Barch's homemade smoothies.
Well, Steven, guess what?
Pretty upset that he brought the smoothie thing back up. I thought I was going to be in the clear here.
That's because Austin already lost a bet on that.
I bet. I have to do
and
that.
Owes that anyway. Not chugging it, but at least drinking it.
Yep, so I'm already doing that.
So
stay
we have
tuned
not
for that
made that
one.
up because of the pandemic. We didn't want to make it like in here.
Yeah.
So we'll do it when we're all clear.
All right, but my main thing is from yesterday, you guys talking about Jay Gruden, the tight ends, and the wide receivers, and I didn't think of this till later on. I'm sure Austin's played against goal line setups where offenses have utilized the formation where they have an eligible receiver with a tackle.
Correct.
Do you think maybe Jaguars could take a look at that? Because you do have Ben Barch, who has played tight end, who came into college being a tight end who knows how to run a route or something like that. Could they utilize something like that?
All right, Steven, thanks for the question. Let's answer it on the other side. We got to go to break. Coos didn't know, but this is a commercial-free hour here at 5 o'clock on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We're way up against it, so we'll come back. Final segment of the show. We'll answer that question.
Interesting
Ben Barch,
question.
Where does he play? Could he use some of those tight end skills?
Swing tackle? Intriguing. We'll talk about it.
The tackle eligible. Maybe that guy's got good hands,
we'll talk
right?
about it.
That's cool. He can bring up some of those plays. I like that.
Let's get into it.
For some creativity. And we'll put a bow on the show with some Jags percentages that continue to make me mad. 85% chance, really? 85% chance?
I can't wait. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, I know. I'll bring it up.
Brent, you seem a little sad, man.
On ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Very warm and humid with scattered showers and a few storms into early this evening, then partly cloudy overnight tonight, dropping into the lower 70s. Hot and humid tomorrow, scattered mainly afternoon showers and thunderstorms with highs near 90. And Friday will start out partly sunny, hot and humid, then midday and afternoon heavy showers and storms with highs in the upper 80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Did you have to postpone popping the question because of the COVID crisis? Get 5 years, 0 interest now at Beards Diamonds.
Nobody wants tax problems, and lives have certainly changed in the last couple of months. So let me tell you about J. David Tax Law. They are here to help you and your business with tax debt issues during the pandemic. Tax problems can be stressful, especially right now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. But here's the deal. The programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. That's coming soon. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With stimulus packages being distributed, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. J. David Tax Law only has experienced tax attorneys that will represent you. You want to be able to walk in and talk to someone and look them right in the eye when it comes to your taxes. J. David Tax Law is someone you can trust. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
All right, boss. This is the house I've been casing for the last week. It doesn't have safe touch security, and the owners are out for the whole night.
Out for the night? Oh, kind of good to hear that phrase again.
Yeah, it is. Especially for us crooks. Now we get to go back to work.
Yep. All we gotta do is find houses without safe touch security, go around it. what are you doing?
I'm putting on my mask.
You're putting a surgical mask over a ski mask.
Well, the ski mask has holes in it.
All right, whatever.
Boss, I've been wondering, why doesn't everyone have Safe Touch security? I mean, look at this house. If they had Safe Touch, we wouldn't even be here.
See, what you're doing right now is called looking a gift horse in the mouth. Listen, Seabiscuit, just follow me and stick to the Crooks or Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses. That's the plan.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number LVA 4188.
Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
Maudlin International Truck and Trailer, The Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing and Preferred Building, The Blinds Guys, Gutter Helmet, Expert Glassworks.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the reopening of our local economy with our most amazing offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with no money down on anything and everything. Yes! Now, for a limited time, Diamonds Direct is doing our part to help you get back to normal and celebrate your love like never before. Our prices and values are the best ever. Our showcases are fully stocked, and we're letting you buy now with nothing down, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Been putting off that engagement? Get her a $6,000 designer ring now and pay just $100 a month. Did you miss celebrating that anniversary? How about a $3,000 Diamond Eternity Band for just $50 a month? Summer is the season for love, and we're doing all we can to make this summer one to remember with exceptional values, extra selection, and the most exceptional finance opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway.
During this time of uncertainty facing our community, the American Heart Association is working to help reduce the impact of COVID-19. Serious symptoms like those associated with a heart attack or stroke are still considered urgent, and emergency workers know what to do. Heart attacks, strokes, and cardiac arrests don't stop during the coronavirus pandemic. Call 911 at the first sign to save lives. Visit heart.org for more information.
Tire Outlet, the local name in tires that you know and trust, is now offering mobile installation. Tire Outlet mobile installation is safe, no hassle, quick, and same day at your home or office. A Tire Outlet professional will bring and install your tires right on site while staying safely distanced. The only thing easier than getting new tires with mobile installation is making the appointment. Call 904-600-0089 to reserve an appointment. Tire Outlet is part of the First Coast community and is in this with you.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We're all about saving you money, especially right now, where we all need great deals to put smiles on our faces. So check out a hot new Silverado and save up to $9,500, or a new Equinox crossover and save up to $6,500. Plus, you can delay the first payment for up to 4 months. Check out the deals at GordonChevy.com, arrange for home delivery, curbside pickup, or visit us in our freshly cleaned showroom. We are here to accommodate. Gordon Chevy and the money-saving end of Blanding in Orange Park. Chevy, find new roads.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Crabtree Plumbing, North Florida agency Bacon Insurance, EnviroPure Restoration, Tim's Mobile Service Trailer Repair. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
The greatest mystery of all time is now streaming on Redbox. Don't miss the theatrical home release of Scoob. Discover Scooby-Doo's epic destiny and stream this premium rental with Redbox on demand today. Subject to applicable taxes. Additional terms at redbox.com.
Throughout the pandemic, Barnabas Center has been on the front lines in Nassau County providing critical assistance to those in need of food, financial assistance, and health care. Barnabas thanks its many supporters. For information and to support Barnabas, visit barnabasnassau.org.
Hey, boss, I brought the loot back from the warehouse.
Uh-huh. And how many stops did you make with our stolen merchandise in the van?
Stops? How'd you know, boss?
'Cause now I have something called Connected Car.
Connected Car?
Yeah, I got it through the Safe Touch security system we have at the warehouse.
Wait, Connected Car is linked to the van?
Yeah. Say you're a parent with a teenager you want to keep an eye on, or a boss who wants to monitor commercial vehicles. Or maybe you got an employee that likes to stop for fries and milkshakes when he should be coming straight back.
It was onion rings.
No stops next time.
Got it. Jeez, Connected Car. Just add that to the reasons we have the Crooks R Us motto,
stay away from Safe Touch houses. It's a long list.
Here, I saved you an onion ring.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Jackson This Together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout out. If you would like to recognize someone, maybe a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call ** 690. Leave a message and we will share it on ESPN 690. That's ** 690. Give it a call and help make somebody's day.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Now it's Holyfield and Mike Tyson talking about having a charity match, aren't they? Do you think that's something that should be even sanctioned, or just think it's like two fellas, just two game fighters who are doing fighting talk?
Yeah, I'm not really too sure, but I did get a phone call with a chance to fight Mike Tyson. I had a phone call saying, "Oh, would you like to fight Mike Tyson in an exhibition fight?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" Well, I don't think anything's materialised out of it, to be honest. So yeah, I think he's definitely serious about doing some fights or whatever.
Tyson Fury talking about Mike Tyson. Tyson continues to be out there on social media. By the way, is he have permanent residence now in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
I mean, he's really been around the last couple of days, I think. I saw a picture this morning.
Yeah.
Still in Jacksonville.
So
what's the story behind Iron Mike?
Well, because he was doing the Ollie wrestling thing,
yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah,
and actually, by the way, we had a question on that. Did you break down Double or Nothing yet? And the answer to that is no.
No. But we can do that maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday too as well. Listen, in terms of Mike Tyson, like he's going to be on TV tonight again for All Elite Wrestling on Wednesday Night Dynamite on TNT. So he'll be on that show as well. Tonight. I'm going to say this, all right? And I think a lot of people are really talking about this right now too much with Mike Tyson.
I have sources, by the way. My source says leaving tomorrow.
Leaving
Mike
tomorrow.
Tyson.
Okay,
there you go.
We'll tell Shad Khan I say what's up.
Isn't that a segment that you wanted to do, right?
What's
my
that?
source says.
My sources are telling me. Exactly. we can still bust that out. Somebody who actually wanted to see that, they sent me a message saying, hey, you should do this. We'll see what happens. But if you've been looking at social media lately, Mike Tyson taking pictures with Jacksonville Jaguars, maybe breaking those quarantine rules a little bit. Not a big deal, though. But look at who he's training with right now in terms of the guys that he's surrounding himself with. There's two guys that pop up in a lot of pictures from Mike Tyson. One is named Vitor Belfort, who is an old MMA. You probably know Vitor Belfort. Fought in the UFC for a long time. Guy was juiced to the gills. Other guy, Henry Cejudo, guy we talked about on the show a couple weeks ago. Just had
First
a fight.
guy's with Bellator, right?
Yep. So Vitor Belfort was with the UFC, is now with Bellator. He might actually be out of Bellator and now with ONE FC. I mean, he's kind of up there in age. But then another guy, you have the name of Henry Cejudo, who is a 2-division champion and also Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. Very impressive. He just retired from MMA as well. Why is Mike Tyson hanging around with these MMA fighters and not boxing coaches and trainers? I think Mike Tyson's plan right now, and once again, I have no source to back this up, just from what I've been seeing him training and everything. I wonder if Mike Tyson's going to take an MMA fight. Now, against who? No idea, because to me, it requires a big name to obviously sell this fight. And you don't want to throw him against like a wrestler or like a high caliber guy right now, because who wants to see Mike Tyson get taken to the ground and knocked out? You know, like, you don't want to see that, dude. So, like, you'd probably rather see Evander Holyfield or something like that. But I'm just saying, the fact that Mike Tyson is kind of hanging out with a bunch of MMA fighters, it is a little peculiar for my liking.
Now, let's be honest, too. In that sport, we see a bunch of older guys, 42, 44-year-old guys even still getting it done.
Absolutely.
And so 53 years old is still up there. Mm-hmm. But that'd be interesting. I don't know, though. Let me ask you this. You're into the MMA, and you're obviously fight MMA.
Yeah.
Do you even want to see Tyson in that arena? Or it's like,
in MMA.
Dude, just put on the boxing gloves and let's show Mike Tyson's punch out.
Yeah.
Or don't do it at all.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of what I feel about it.
Yeah, from my perspective, I want to see Mike Tyson for what I know Mike Tyson for. And that's knocking fools out wearing boxing gloves. Okay? Now, if you're in Mike Tyson's shoes, who knows, Brent? Maybe he feels like, listen, he is in the best shape of his life. Maybe he wants to push the boundaries even more and do something that he's never done before. Because you know why? Mike Tyson is just crazy enough to do that. So I'm not going to be the guy to say, well, don't do MMA. Like, you shouldn't do that. You're going to ruin the sport. No, man, we have all these crazy fights all the time in MMA. So if he wants to truly do that, then so be it. But I'm just saying it is peculiar that he's hanging out with a bunch of MMA fighters.
Yeah, interesting stuff. And again, he's been in town now for almost the entire week, going back to last Friday, I think. Part of, Tony Khan's got him doing some things with AEW, which, listen, Tyson is still a star. You saw what happened. He was at the field last year.
Yeah.
And kind of feels like that's when, he was down, I think, at the stadium because of some business ventures, right? I'm pretty sure that was the reasoning last year. So
it's probably for All Elite Wrestling.
and it might have been a little bit but that's where the relationship probably was formed.
Sure.
And I'll tell you this, man. Like, I thought Iron Mike looked pretty bad last year when I saw him. Like, he had a gut on him. He looked old.
Yeah.
Again, when we envision Mike Tyson.
Let's make sure that we're recording this now for Brent. Let's make sure we record this. Put this
By
on
the
Twitter.
Way, would that be good for a physical feat if I got in the ring with Tyson?
If you even just train with Mike Tyson one day, forget I'm going to have to climb 3 mountains in one day to match that. That's all I'm going to say.
I wouldn't do it.
For sure.
By the way, I have a hard time wondering if I would go for a series in the NFL or for a minute with Mike Tyson.
Ooh, a minute with Mike Tyson or a series in the NFL?
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's see. For me,
like if your life depended on one or the other.
So if I'm concerned about your well-being,
I know what you would do. You already did it.
Yeah, well,
in the NFL.
If I'm concerned about your well-being, though, Brent, like I'm a family member, and I'm gonna be like, I hope you do it this way because I'm concerned about your
health.
You
have life insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would probably tell you. I would probably tell you to go play football for a series, more than the Mike Tyson thing. Well, dude, if you get punched in the face. It's gonna do some damage. Well, it's gonna do some damage.
It's over, Johnny.
It's gonna do some damage, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Don't want to do damage.
Yeah.
To this
don't want to damage the moneymaker.
But if he gets you one in the face and you don't get knocked out immediately, how badass is it to be able to say, I didn't get knocked out on the first punch?
Yeah. No glass jaw on me.
Dude, do you think you can do that? Is that what we're talking about right now?
Honestly,
is that what we're talking about?
I'd be more. Although really it probably would hurt the face, but I'd be more if I got in a ring with Tyson of getting hit with a body shot. I'd be more
the liver, the kidney, man.
Yeah, or like the chest. Yeah. Like I feel like he could kill me.
Just collapse your chest.
Like I seriously feel like he'd kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I'm going to say, I would rather see you play it down in football because I can like show you some things where it's like, all right, well, maybe the play comes at you, but we can be smart with our base, we can stay low, and we cannot accumulate so much damage.
Yeah.
If I had a month to train you to take a punch from Mike Tyson, I don't know what I would do, Brent. I'd be like, well, go ahead and get your affairs in line. Let's go ahead and go to church every single Sunday.
Run around the ring.
Yeah, I guess, well, that can only last for so long, too.
Or
it's not as big as you think it is.
Even when he swings the first time,
just
go down.
Just dive? Take an absolute dive. Take a
like
dive.
Peyton Manning or Eli when the rush is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Tom Brady when he's hitting the hole in one, supposedly.
All right, a couple things before we get out of here. Steven had called prior to our last break about the tight end, about Ben Barch.
Yeah.
Can you use him in different situations? It's an interesting one. Can you do that?
Why not? Hey, let's have some fun, Brent.
Listen, I'm all for fun and having some fun, but you're right. I mean, he's got to have pretty good hands, right?
Correct.
He will be a guy that I think other teams would even have to, maybe not this year, maybe it's down the road, but if he is a tackle-eligible guy, bring some interesting situations. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Ben Barch becomes a weapon on the goal line, but he actually becomes something you could consider.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know where they see him as a swing tackle. Obviously, if he's playing more guard and all of a sudden, he's lined up at tackle, well, that's going to be kind of a question mark, and teams will take notice of that. But why not, man? Give it a try, because like I said, it's all about the season of fun this year for that offense, Brent. Season of fun. Let's go.
It's a good call, though. I like it.
I like it.
Good to tackle eligible.
Yep, tackle eligible.
The other thing I wanted to share with you, I'm tired of this Kyler Murray talk. Bucky Brooks is like, Kyler Murray's going to win the MVP. Oof. I mean, Bucky, I used to like you.
Oof.
What happened to us?
Yeah.
Can we stop? Just stop.
Brent's so upset about this.
Just stop.
Yeah.
You're making me not like Kyler Murray. People are making me not like him, and I think he's probably a great kid. He's a baseball guy, too.
It's not his fault, man. It's supposed to be your boy.
Just making me not like
Dual athlete.
I mean, can we just stop with Kyler Murray?
Okay, so let me ask you this then, Brent. How is Kyler, what do you foresee happening this year with the Arizona Cardinals? Because it's kind of got that feeling like the Cleveland Browns of last year a little bit, right?
That's a good call. It's a really good call. I wonder, did you get the sense? Baltimore looked like they unveiled something. Did you get the sense that Arizona unveiled anything?
No. But one could argue that they didn't have all the pieces in place yet.
Yeah.
Right? Now they have Hopkins.
But why wouldn't they unveil something? That's what they brought him in to do. Why would I just thought they were going to change the league a little bit, right? Kingsbury and
change a lot.
Kyler Murray. I thought they were going to do something that caught my attention. He's a talented kid. He's a great athlete.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I didn't say, wow, look at Kingsbury. Oh.
Look at this offense. Yeah, I mean, you saw some wrinkles here or there, but let's be honest. Probably the biggest story of last year for the Arizona Cardinals wasn't even Kyler Murray. It was Kenyon Drake. It was getting Kenyon Drake from the Miami Dolphins, who was essentially a backup, comes over to Arizona and absolutely tears apart the football world and fantasy football. So I agree with you there, but I also agree with the fact that, listen, the wide receiving core might be a top 8, maybe a top 5 in the entire NFL. And if you have an offensive-minded guy like Kingsbury, I mean, it might just be too great to fail. But we said that last year about the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and listen, even McVay went down last year a little bit from the year prior. Again, people catch up to whatever you're doing. My point is I just don't know what they were doing to catch up to in Arizona. And they do become more electric and dynamic. They must have had 5 wins last year because they picked a spot ahead of the Jags. So let's just say they were 5-11. I think they were. I mean, I see a max at 8-8, man. I mean, they're max 8-8. I mean, which is a nice little step up. Yeah. But I don't see them all of a sudden 11-5. And the MVP ain't winning 8-8. Okay. I mean, Bucky, you're out of your mind.
Well, here's what I need to keep the same kind of energy, okay? Keep this exact same kind of energy when we have our NFL fantasy football draft, because I'll be taking Kyler Murray in mid-rounds, and I want you to watch it. I want you to take a little screenshot of it. Oh, what's Austin taking Kyler Murray for? And then I want you to sit back and watch the fantasy football gold unveil again as I win another championship with Kyler Murray at the helm.
I'm not ready to do this yet because I've already got the Jags winning more games than the Patriots. Oof. I'm not ready to do this yet.
Degenerate betting by Brent Martineau.
But I'm thinking about it. And I'm going to do some research.
What do you got? Hit me with it. Let's go.
Once again, in 2020, better numbers from Minshew than Murray.
Do you want to put that bet down right now?
I did not say I'm ready to do it. I got to do a little more research, and I want to hear from Gardner tomorrow. Gardner's going to talk to us tomorrow.
Right. So we talked to Gardner tomorrow. You hear what he has to say. I want you to then marinate on it for about 3 or 4 hours after the interview. You come on the show tomorrow, and you ask yourself, are you ready to bet me that Gardner Minshew will have better numbers than Kyler Murray? Think about it.
I'm going to think about it.
Okay.
We're also putting out there Mr. Football in Jacksonville, and it can't be Minshew just yet, people, but Mr. Football in Jacksonville. Last week I did Mr. Baseball.
Yep.
And some people wanted to jump in on Mr. Football.
Sure.
So I said, what the heck? Let's do Mr. Football this week. We'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow. Who's Mr. Football in Jacksonville? Marinate on that for the next 24 hours.
Just make sure that you word the tweet right so people don't get confused again. Don't bring hockey into the mix or something.
Who is Mr. Football in Jacksonville?
You know,
simple.
Kind of like a basketball player that we used to have here in Jacksonville. Yeah, exactly.
Jags have 23% chance for the first pick. These people are out of their mind. The 85% chance for a top 10 pick. Now, I'm not sure I'd bet against that one. 85%. We need some believers around here. I can't wait to talk to Minshew tomorrow. He's going to get me all jacked up for the 2020 season.
Place that bet. Let's go.
Minshew over Murray. Get ready.
I can't wait. Can't wait to cash in again. No offense to Minshew. I love you.
Yeah. Let's see where this is going. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us on ESPN 690. We'll see you on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports, Jags on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
People used to tell me all the time that I sound shorter than I am.
Your voice is like a little higher pitched, so like
probably.
So you think of like Lollipop Guild from Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. People are like, when you talk, I think you're walking down the yellow brick road,
but
when I see you,
yeah. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small. But businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
Terra Motors, Pat's Nursery, J&J Tree Experts, Cure Pharmacy, Spatola Contracting, Fisherman's Dock Seafood Market.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health. So Cora provides care